tape recorder, and I recorded like my own version of like an audio book for it. I mean, girl,
No, you didn't.
I promise you I
The
did.
most.
Sound effects, and yeah, because I'm really extra. I'm sure you could tell by now, but sound effects and everything. I had keys jingling. I remember putting my hand into a shoe and making the footstep sounds on the table and the whole nine. And I got an F because, you know, I don't know how to follow directions, but you couldn't tell me, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't tell me I wasn't that. Like, I've just been, I love being creative with my voice. As a matter of fact, one of the main reasons why I love Clubhouse so much is because it reminds me of like the old school 976 party lines back in the day, the 1-900 party lines that cost like $2 a minute. My
yes.
Kind of reminds me of that. I mean, you know, Clubhouse is the new age curated party line to me. I just had always been fascinated. I used to take like greeting cards and get on the party line and read them like I was performing. Like, it was just dumb. But I guess that's really, you know, where I recognized that my voice had power. And so I did radio, and then I eventually made the transition into full-time voiceover. And I'm just blessed, not only because I love what I do, but because my tribe is dope. I get so much inspiration from these ladies. Like, I can seriously watch TV all day just focusing on commercials. And when somebody, especially a woman, jumps out at me, I'll go research it. You know, pull the commercial up, find out, I don't know, who the voice actor or actress is, and I'll find them, you know, and I'll just look at more work. That's how I've been learning over the past couple of years. But yeah, that's me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Stick to it then.
Period.
Okay, honey. So as we said, this is your brainchild. We're going to go into our first part of what we're going to accomplish this evening. So we're going to start off with some questions. Did you want me to get it started, or you want to get it started, Keisha? How you want to do it?
Yeah, I want to shift a little bit because I did give you a cheat sheet, but one of another inspiration of mine, male inspiration, his name is Trey Mosely. I think he's in the crowd. I think I saw him.
Trey
is in the building.
Yeah. I admire him because I met him at a voiceover conference several years back, and I've just been blessed to sit in his front row basically and watch him sit at a table talking about, do you know how to, you know, get hooked up with this commercial or that commercial, to like being a voice in the Madden games. He does a CNN. I mean, he's all over the place. ABC. His voice is all over the place. Well, anyway, he got
all the alphabets. He got all the alphabets.
All of them. All of them.
NBC. The
And
ABC.
So, yeah, he's impressive, and that kind of, you know, inspires me to make sure that I'm on point with my stuff. But anyway, he did a room earlier with regards to voiceover and money, and I hope he doesn't mind me stealing from that. I don't really think people who are new to voiceover realize that it could really be help me, Trakina, with my words.
Challenging.
I mean, well, I'm talking about as far as the money is concerned. Like, there's great money in voiceover. Just to give you an idea, I had an audition a couple of months back for Audi, and they were basically looking for a new voice of Audi, and that campaign was worth $100,000.
I did that one too. Which one of y'all?
More than that, I thought.
Yeah. Did anybody book it?
I was gonna say I tried out for that too.
And
I was already fantasizing about all the stuff I was gonna buy. Anyway,
listen. I thought they said they paid the previous person $400,000. So not
a huge amount of money.
Listen,
there were a lot of zeros in that posting.
Okay, yes. Totally. Yes. And that's just one client. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sure that probably sounds attractive to a lot of people in the audience, but what would you girls say to someone who feels that the money is more attractive than the actual job of being in voiceover?
Okay, so who wants to take that? You want to take that, Mira?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that. I would say if you get into this just for the money, you are not going to have a sustainable career. It's of course it's attractive, but let's keep it real. I mean, those Audi auditions are few and far between these days. Unfortunately, the market, has been driven down quite a bit from just 10 years ago. I mean,
No
10
pun
years ago,
intended. It's been
what's
driven
that?
down. It's been driven down, no pun intended.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I remember when I first got into this business, let's see, it was one of my first voiceover conferences I went to, that's Voiceover. And so that was around 2013. And I remember talking to an actress there, who was saying how she pretty much, had her rent paid for the entire year because she just did one spot, same sort of thing, 6 figures. And but that was the norm where that was happening all the time. I mean, nowadays they're not quite as common getting those campaigns, but yes, it is absolutely still possible. But back to the issue of where your passion for this has to come into play. If you're just chasing the money, no matter what field you're in, it's not going to be sustainable, because you have to want to really be successful at this career. In my opinion, you have to eat, breathe, sleep voice acting, period. I mean, my hubby Jordan and I mean, literally it could be 3 a.m. and we're Googling, sending each other articles about the industry, or, hey, did you check out this workshop? Or what do you think about this demo? Or, I mean, we live voiceover, and because we love it so much, when you put that kind of pride and passion and dedication, and quite frankly, they say it takes 10,000 hours for you to become a master at anything. They say, we're not really born with talent. We have a tendency towards certain talents, but those talents all have to be developed. And that takes time. And you're not going to put in the time and attention and intention that you need to if you are not really passionate about this and people just told you had a nice voice. That will only get you so far. And it's not really, at the end of the day, about just having a nice voice. It's about what you do with that voice. How do you bring your true voice, your true self, your true personality, the true thing that makes you stand out from everybody else? That's what's essentially going to be bookable. And you can't do that if you're just hopping behind the mic trying to make a quick buck. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to be married to the work, and you're not going to be vulnerable, frankly, enough and passionate enough that, in my opinion, the universe is going to reciprocate that sort of bountiful return that you can get if you really love the work. So that's what I would advise, is that you have to love the work.
That is so perfect. Awesome. Awesome.
I have to chime in on Mara.
Okay. Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, okay. One of the questions that you had, Keisha, and when you emailed us, and it was so nice that you did this so organized and everything, is, people that you look up to and things like that. And, Mara, to me, is one of my biggest influences in this whole game, because she's taken the time to, nobody does this alone. There's things that only a voice actor is going to know. There's just questions that not a regular person is going to know. But chiming in on just being in this for the money, this is a quick, easy story that everyone that's listening right now that doesn't really know about voiceover will get right away. One of my first voiceover conferences that I went to was in LA. It was very, very small. But the reason why I wanted to go, it was because it was in front of people that I really looked up to. And since it was small, I was going to have a bigger chance of getting to be in front of their face and talk to them. And to make a long story short, this other girl came in, sitting next to me. She came in for the same thing. She was amazing. Her passion was animation. Okay. And so one of the biggest animation women in LA was in the panel, and they were doing live reads. To make a long story short, they had 2 people go up there, the girl that was sitting next to me and another girl that lived in LA that was just a pro. The girl that flew in, that came in to do the same conference thing, I thought she sounded 30 times better than the girl who won against her. But the only reason why she won is, although it was just 2 paragraphs that they had to read, it was supposed to be an 8-year-old girl. And although both of them sounded amazing, what did the winner have that the loser didn't? Is that the girl that came to the conference with me didn't realize that the words that she was pronouncing when she was saying them, an 8-year-old wouldn't be able to pronounce them that way. And I still get goosebumps when I hear that story, because the other girl got it because of all the training that she's had in LA, knowing that if it's a big word, any 8-year-old wouldn't be able to say it that way. And if you're going to go against those big boys in LA or in New York, you have to be prepared for something as simple as that.
I love that.
Yeah, that is awesome. Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for that perspective. You know, I actually originally thought that I was just going to do a question and answer session like at the end. No, I'm going to start bringing a couple of people on stage, like maybe 2 or 3. We'll sprinkle them in between each segment. So I'm going to open the room and I'm going to Rick, because that's his job, randomly pick up, give me like 2 or 3 people to bring them up on stage so we can, there we go. So we can sneak some questions in, if you don't mind. Rick, you still there? Or you fell asleep?
No, I'm still here. I'm staying in my lane. So however you don't need me. So listen, I'm gonna raise hands right now, guys. So they're popping in. Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm gonna pick 1, 2, 3. Just 3 for now.
Yeah, just for now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Oh my gosh, they are popping in it's like popcorn right now. Good
That's
Lord.
awesome. This is great.
Okay, so we're gonna go in order. Let's start with Sarita.
Thanks, Rick. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you all for doing this, for sharing your stories, sharing this information. I've always been interested in voiceovers, or I would just, I used to play around when I was younger, and I would act like I was the recording for the collect call number, and friends and I, we would on 3-way, we would prank and see if somebody would actually press 1 or something like that. So it's always been something that I enjoyed. I'm a singer, and I've never just known how to get into it. And I hear you saying coaching. So since that's like the first step, where do you suggest, or, any direction as to where to go to find a great coach, or the things that I should be looking for in a coach?
Maria, I think that's for you, boo.
Sure, I'll answer that question. So the first thing that I want to say to you, Sarita, is you do not want to work with a coach that makes you any promises. So if they say, if you work with me, I promise you'll be making $100,000 in a year. Or if you work with me 6 times, I promise you we'll make a demo at the end of that. Or anyone selling you any packages that are all kind of strung together, like a set of weekend classes that ends in you making a demo. I want you to stay away from anything like that. It should all be based on what's right for you, and, what knowledge you come into it with. And it should not be cookie cutter in any way. And I never want anyone, I hope everybody's listening to the answer of this question, I don't want anyone ever to shell out thousands and thousands of dollars up front to somebody who's promising that they're going to make all your dreams come true. So that's kind of your scam warning. That's, have your spider sense tingling, and make sure that you're not putting a lot of money on the table before you actually get to work with them and see if it's a good fit. And make sure you're not purchasing a ton of services in advance before you figured out if you even like doing voiceover and what comes with it. So a good voiceover coach is someone who I believe is currently working in the business. So working in the genres that you are interested in. So if you want to work in video games, someone who is currently working in video games, either as a voice actor or as a casting director or a voice director. If you want to work in commercials, somebody who's currently voicing commercials that are on television, not commercials that were on television 20 years ago, commercials that are on television right now or on the radio. a casting director that's currently working, the people who know what clients are choosing, what's booking right now. To me, that is your best investment. Someone who is currently working in that genre as a voice actor or as a director in that genre, or someone who is currently casting in that genre and also has an educational or coaching component to their offerings. They are the people that know what is bookable, and they are the people that are doing it day in and day out. So I want you to be aware of people who have done it in the past, but perhaps are not currently active practitioners and don't actually know what is currently working and trendy and bookable today. And then from there, it's just finding a person that's a good fit for you. It's just like any other, service provider that you look for. When you're selecting a doctor, when you're selecting a babysitter for your kids, whatever it is, you want to find someone that you have a good personality match for. You feel like you understand them and they understand you. They understand what it is you want to do with your career. And you heard from the demos that Rick played in the opening package and the introductions. A lot of us do some of the same things, but we also do a lot of divergent things as well. So what's right for me and what kind of coaching I need is different than what Issa needs or what Mara needs or what Keisha needs, et cetera. So you want to make sure that the coach understands what you need, what you want to do in this industry. And then it's a two-way street, a two-way conversation to move forward from where you're at with whatever training or experience you have. I think acting experience is pinnacle. So if you have not been an actor before, taking some kind of acting class, whether that is a scene study class or something like a Meisner technique class, a lot of listening, acting, reacting, improv classes, storytelling classes, stand-up comedy classes, really, really helpful foundation. And then working one-on-one with a coach or in a small group class setting, for a particular genre. So with a commercial coach, with a narration coach, with a video game coach, animation coach, depending on which way you want to go. Keisha, I don't know if you want me to start spitting out like names of coaches that we all recommend, or if you want to save that for later or post it.
I'm going to say
whatever.
Save the goods, because if you tell them now, then they'll leave, and then we'll all.
So I think we can all like maybe at the wrap up, we can like give everybody kind of the drop of resources, because I know all of us have coaches that we love and work with. And, being a professional in the industry, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, we still coach. We still go back to school and make sure that we are fine tuning our instruments, that we are learning more. You heard Mara say it, reading what's happening in the industry, staying current and all of that. So, the person that's right for you at the beginning may not be the person that's right for you when you're mid-journey or mid-career. But that's what I would say. That's my scam warning, making sure it's a good fit for you and someone that you want to work with, someone that you want to talk to week, and just make sure that they are a current practitioner in the art that you are interested in.
And also, Sarita, keep in mind that you have exclusivity. Like, you're in this voiceover club and you're amongst all of these beautiful women. Everyone on stage is accessible via IG and or Twitter. We do not claim to know it all. I am not endorsing anyone per se, but ask around on these internet streets. Hey, have you ever heard of this chick? Seems kind of vulturistic to me, but she sounds like she's selling a pretty good, like, ask us. We totally would be willing and able to give you a recommendation to the best of our ability. Okay?
Thank you. I truly appreciate that.
Keisha?
No problem. Yes, ma'am.
Hey, it's Malika. I just want to jump in really quickly. I know we want to get to other questions, but I think this is also something that's important for people to know as far as learning is concerned. There's a lot that you can do, because I know people are cash strapped and it's really difficult when you say get into a class. And I do believe class is important. I have done both voiceover class and voice classes to work on diction and removing regionalisms and all of that. However, there's so much you can learn from watching and listening to the stuff that's already out there. I learn a lot from commercials to this day by watching commercials. So, and the vast majority of what I do is commercial work, and I do television narration, but I'd say about 85% of what I do is commercials. And so I don't fast forward through commercials. That's a part of my job. If there's a commercial, let me tell you something. If you want to know, especially if you're interested in commercials, if you want to know what you need to be doing from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., you watch any one of the networks and watch those commercials. You don't have to watch the shows. You can tape the shows and fast forward through the programming and just watch the commercials, but pay attention to what they're doing, because these are the people that are booking. Pay attention to animation. Those are the people that are booking. You're interested in audiobooks? Have you listened to one lately? Those are the people that are booking. So you can glean so much from paying attention to what's already out there. And for those of you who have cut the cord, you can go to iSpot. There's so many places, YouTube. There's so many places. Before I have a video game audition, because that's not something I do a lot of, I go on YouTube and I listen to some of the clips that people put up there in the genre in which I'm going to be recording. It's something I still do. When I pretty much remember a lot of the copy of commercials I didn't book. So I immediately recognize it when I hear it play on a commercial. I'm like, oh, this person booked. And I listen to what they did, how they use their voice. We all have our own kind of idiosyncratic ways of approaching copy. And so when I listen to someone else's choices and how they sound, I'm like, oh, wow, I need to add that to my repertoire. There's so much you can learn from stuff that's already been out there. So pay attention to that stuff as well. If you say this is the industry you want to be in, absorb it all.
My husband gets so mad at me because I rewind the commercials to watch the commercials over and over again instead of the shows.
Yes, same thing.
And then be following it, be trying to do an ABC on ABC, on ABC, on ABC.
Yeah, and then I like dig through my emails to find my audition and play it back. And he's like, can we just watch the show?
Yeah, I do that too. Oh my gosh, I do find my auditions.
And I'm so wild with it. Let me tell you how wild I am with it. When Malika, I know Malika when she used to be a radio personality at Power 105.1 in New York. And I've always been kind of fascinated with her voice. And I used to hear her voice on TV. I'm like, yo, that sounds just like Malika. I was so obsessed that because I sleep with the TV on all night. If I heard her commercial in a light twilight, I wake straight up, and then I would tape it and I send it to her like, yo, is that you? Yeah, girl, that's me. You really got to be a lover of the game. Really, really good point, Malika. That's how I did it, watching you.
Speaking of lover of the game, Mara told me this years ago when I went full time. I wanted to do a bunch of demos, and real demos are expensive, you guys. And she was like, Issa, she said, Issa, there's a difference between right now. There's a difference between what you want to do and what you can do right now and make money at it. And she's so right, because I'm not going to mention what I really, really wanted to do at that time. But once I figured out everything that involved that type of VO work, I ended up not wanting to do it. And it would have cost me a $2,800, $3,200 demo. What a waste of time and money. So do your research on the stuff that you think you want to do. Because let me tell you now, anybody that knows me in this panel, and even the people that listen, I have a attention span of a mosquito. Am I going to be good narrating a book? No, that's just not for me. Not everything is going to be for you. And also, real quick, if you do a coaching session, okay, you guys, and it doesn't go well, which I've had many, don't feel bad. It's just like a date. Sometimes you just don't click with that person. Don't feel bad. Just move on to someone else and try someone else, because you will click with someone, but you're not going to click with everybody.
All right. Shell.
Yeah,
You're
Shell.
up.
And Shell, by the way, is a Harvard University student. Yay! Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I've gone to all of your Instagrams. I'm still going through and following all of you because you have so much good advice, and you guys are just really killing it out here. I was working at a digital media agency and stumbled into voiceover. I'm a songwriter, have always written songs ever since I was in 3rd grade. But I stumbled into voiceover because someone was working with Allergan, and they have Botox and Latisse and Juvederm. And he was like, hey, I need someone to come do this. And they were casting for a white male in his 40s. And I demoed all the information they needed. And they were like, oh, they like your voice and they're going to keep you. So I ended up getting called back in to do more work with Allergan. And from there, I just kept getting little gigs here and there that people would just say, oh, hey, I heard you do voiceover. My issue is that I have never formally done this, where I've approached it. You guys are saying you all did coaching. So I'm definitely going to be looking into that. My question to you is, should I, at this point, because I already now have gigs under my belt, should I also be looking into doing an agent? And then my other question is, with regards to SAG-AFTRA, I've been told that I am eligible to join SAG-AFTRA, and I wanted to get all of your thoughts on whether you feel like that's a strength or a weakness to be a member of SAG-AFTRA.
Maria, you're the expert on the SAG-AFTRA stuff. I'm pulling you in.
I had a feeling you were going to do that. So let's answer the first question, Shell. I would say it's probably a little early to approach an agent. I think they'll be really excited to see the work that you did for Allergan, and having examples of your voice on products that are out there are certainly a really strong selling point. But the top agencies are wildly competitive, and they want to be able to see that you are bookable beyond just kind of like the one coincidence job.
Okay.
So I think you want to be able to show them the money. You want to be able to show them that you have the training, that you can replicate the sounds that they see in that work, and they're going to want to hear at least a commercial demo. That's kind of the standard entry card to seeking representation specifically for commercials. They're going to want to hear a demo. And I would say you're probably going to want to work with a commercial coach at least a few times before you approach an agent. And also, I think it'll just make you more confident in what you want to say about who you are and what you do and what you bring to the table and why you'd be a competitive addition to their roster.
Okay.
So that's the first thing.
Thank you.
With regards to the union, I'm going to preface this by saying everyone's relationship with the union, whether it's SAG-AFTRA or any union, is highly personal. There are things that are, there are trends that emerge that you might hear from many people, but it has to be a personal decision and whether or not it's right for you. What SAG-AFTRA does is it offers a lot of standardizations and protections. So as a performer, they have standardized rates across the board for all of the categories that are under SAG-AFTRA's jurisdiction. So that goes from commercials, video games, animation, narrations, television shows. There's a lot of stuff that is under SAG-AFTRA's jurisdiction. There are some categories that are not. Promo is an example, that are considered non-jurisdictional. So they have standardized rates across the board in what's called scale. So scale is the minimum amount of money that a performer on a union contract must be paid. Now, scale is a minimum, not a maximum. So of course, anything is negotiable, but it ensures that you are paid a fair wage that has been collectively bargained between the union and the producers, the people who are hiring voice actors for jobs. Okay. The other thing that it offers is protections. So ensuring that your voice cannot be used illegally, and they would help you with recourse if they found out that your voice was being used illegally. For instance, if a campaign expired and then you found out it was still airing, but you hadn't been compensated for that renewal, the union is there to back you up and support you in that. The union also offers an enormous amount of safety protections for actors. Now, for voiceover, it doesn't come into question as much as on camera actors as it comes to set safety and breaks and ensuring people are safe from stunts and things like that. But it does come up in voiceover when it comes to length of sessions. So the voice actors of SAG-AFTRA went on strike just recently to limit the length of video game sessions to ensure that voice actors were not being asked to perform long video game sessions that involve things like exertions. So that's like the grunts and the yelling and the dying and the screaming, making sure that those sessions would be limited to an appropriate time so that voice actors were not damaging their instrument from session to session. That was something that the union and the actors of the union brought to the table. So with all of that being said, we have had an absolute meteoric shift in the media marketplace in the last 5 years, in the last 10 years, in the last 15 years. The entire media sphere has changed, whether that was the advent of the internet, bringing in advertising, YouTube dating back to, the beginning of pre-roll advertising circa 2004, 2005. And unfortunately, the union was a little slow to react to some of that. While that was happening, also, the entire media landscape was changing. So, we went from having just a few major advertising firms to tons of digital agencies popping up all over the place. And the ability to get creative created, that entire sphere was democratized. So as we all got cable internet, installed in our homes and high-speed internet, we can now all send large audio files, image files, video files, all of these things that had extremely high barriers to entry were all brought down as media and internet and all of that stuff was made more widely available to everyone.
Mhm.
So the good side of that is it's easier to get into the business and to be a performer and to actually have a home studio and be competitive. The bad side of that is that the supply and demand relationship completely changed. So what many of us have seen that have been in the industry for a while is a massive shift in the amount of union voiceover that's available through union signatories and are produced under union contracts, and non-union jobs that are produced by digital agencies or advertising agencies or producers that are not signatories to SAG-AFTRA's contracts. There are ways that a performer who is a member of SAG-AFTRA can convert work to union. It's not an easy process, but it can be done and you can get used to doing it. The easiest thing to do are projects that are under the industrial code. So things like e-learning, corporate narration, videos, if you're the announcer in an airport or a train station, those types of things can be brought over to a union contract, even if the person hiring you is not a signatory to a union contract.
Okay.
I don't know the numbers for sure, but the numbers that people throw around are anywhere from a 60-40 split to a 70-30 split. 60% to 70% of the voiceover work that is currently available on the market today is non-union. 30 to 40% of the work that's available is union. What is misleading in those numbers are the rates. So we were talking about some of the jobs, that can pay your rent for a year. In that 30 to 40% of jobs that are still produced under union contracts by union signatories, those rates could be infinitely higher than some of the rates that are in that 60 to 70% of work that's being produced under non-union contracts. So if you join SAG-AFTRA as a full member, you can only do union work that is produced by union signatories or is non-jurisdictional, meaning it's not covered by a SAG-AFTRA contract, or if you take a project that is non-union, it has to meet the qualifications for you to convert it to union. And I'm not going to go super deep because it's a very, very, very complicated process.
You already did. No, I'm just joking.
But I'm just going to stop. There's a lot to say. So I'm going to stop there and just say it's a personal decision. If you are a member, you can only do union work unless it's something that you can convert, and that all unions in the United States have an option that was brought by a legal jurisdiction ruling that allows you to be a financial core member of the union. And if you are a financial core member, it means that you are not representing yourself as a full member of the union, but you're able to do union and non-union work. And that's a personal decision that you would have to look into if that's something you would want to pursue. And with that, I will stop.
Thank you so much.
And you're wondering why I love Maria? That's why. She is a beast. Thank you.
Told you
so
she knows
much.
her ish. She knows.
Yeah,
her.
she's amazing. Thank you for that insight. To be completely honest with you, I'm sitting here taking notes myself because I am in the union, but sometimes it's just hard to retain, information and truly, truly understand. I just did a couple of McDonald's commercials and they made me eligible. And so I joined the union, but I'm being honest. Sometimes I don't really have a thorough understanding of it all. But Maria, you did an excellent job. Thank you so very much for that. Up next, we have, oh boy, Adeshola.
That is lovely.
Is that
No,
good?
it's Adeshola.
Adeshola. I'm
Yep.
sorry. Beautiful
That's
name.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm a little nervous, so forgive me for stumbling over my words if I do. Thanks for having this. This has been an incredible listen. I really appreciate all of the knowledge y'all have been dropping. So I actually have done zero voiceover work until now, and the only reason I got interested was because of Clubhouse and the number of times someone has said, you should do voiceover work. Since then, I have booked a couple of things, but I'm really, really interested in how to hone your voice as a tool. It's not something I've ever. I did some singing, the whole singing in church as a kid or singing in choir as a kid. But what it takes to take your voice from the thing that it is to a well-oiled machine, and also just generally if location matters as you start to get into these into an industry where you really need to know people, and you really need to get out there and introduce yourself. So thanks. Bye.
Rebecca, come on in.
Ooh. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
That was like a Rebecca voice match.
It sure was. I was thinking the same thing, that she's in Rebecca's club.
Right.
We're boozing. We're booze on here too. So hey, boo, how you doing?
Wow.
Hi. So good to see you again.
You as well. I beg your pardon. I was talking to my partner at that moment. What was the question again, please?
For sure. So one of two. I know there are a lot of people to get through. So one is either for folks who are really, really new and really, really green, how do you hone your voice? Like really get it to a point where you can make it do whatever you need it to do, right? Or on the other end of the spectrum, does location matter? Trying to book jobs, trying to get to know people, trying to network. Is it really important that you go from, I live in the DMV right now. Is it really important that you show yourself or show face in LA or New York, or whatever the case may be?
Okay, thank you for that. I'm sorry that I had to ask you to repeat. So I can answer the second one first more easily. It's been falling out of decline for people to be in major cities, New York and LA, for example. But this COVID thing really truly made it that much more irrelevant. Right now, almost everything I think is home-based, studio-based. So now is a wonderful time to start if you live off market, because everybody has to be, and I think that with the changes that have been made, this is going to be our future. This is how it's going to progress. So I think that right now, and DMV too, I would say probably has a pretty thriving market, I would imagine. But even so, like right now, is the time to just get you a really good studio quality, broadcast quality studio setup, because right now is not important. And I think that once you get in the game, even if things do kind of switch and they start to want you to come back in studio for a lot of things, once you have your foot in the door, once you have your clients and experience, they will probably still see you, probably still use you regardless. As far as honing your voice, man, so much coaching. That's just the biggest thing that I can say, because I have my very unique signature sound and I'm really stubborn. I'm a narrator, and I've been doing commercial work a lot and trying to do commercial work a lot more. And it's just hard because I want to be promo and I want to be, this dramatic thing, and I want to be sultry, and it's you don't ever, your voice, your personality, who you are and what you bring to the table, that is what it is. So you're not really trying to get anyone to change that, but just to make it more flexible. That's a thing. And coaching helps with that. They help you to find your space and find your groove and find your lane. So for me, I'm still practicing that every day. I have a sound. It's a definite signature, but it's become more flexible. And as you get more comfortable just around the mic, start practicing a lot more, practicing the commercials that you hear, things that you really like and admire, things that you want to do, and just see how you put your spin on it, put your little stank on it when you do it. Constantly reading things, constantly practicing, recording yourself, listening to yourself. Do you want to buy whatever it is that you're selling? Things like that will just help you to kind of hone your sound. I'm super into animation, love animation, but I feel like my voice is this one lane, like I'll be the villain or the seductress or something like that. But then I found, just playing around in the studio, that I could do higher pitch and I could do silly and goofy things that I never imagined I could do until I started really practicing and trying it, and then working now with an animation coach. So you have your sound, you have your voice. It is absolutely possible to stretch and expand your range. But coaching and just realize that whatever it is that you bring to it, whatever it is that you feel, whatever moves you, that is what's going to inform your performance. And it's always possible to find your sound in any genre or in any type of script if you just think about what you might do or what you might say in that situation. I really hope that answers your question.
That was lovely. Thank you so much. And
my pleasure.
Thank you, everyone.
Great. Trakina, let's refresh the room.
Okie doke. And it has been refreshed. Who's up next, Mr. Party?
Mosh. I'll just call you Mosh because I cannot pronounce your name, my dear.
Hello, everybody. I am Moshua L'Oreal, aka Molo. Molo's easier.
let's go. What do you
All
have?
right. Well, first of all, if you give me a second, just to gush for a second. First of all, holy shit, Rebecca, your voice. I can't even deal with how crazy it sounds.
Right.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
Yeah, that's insane. Actually, hearing all of you guys, this is so incredible to me because, first of all, I've always been interested in voice acting. I'm an event host and I'm a spoken word artist here in Atlanta. I've been for years, but I've always wanted to do voice acting, but I never knew a voice actor. It's like a freaking unicorn. I've never even seen one in my life. So to be in a room with you guys is so surreal right now. I just want you to know that I'm kind of like in another realm right now. This is surreal. But to get to my question, so like I said, I'm an event host and a poet, but what would you say are probably the common misconceptions for someone like me who does jobs that require their voice and people's like, oh, you have a nice voice. But, you know, a lot of us might think we can just easily transition into voice acting because it's kind of similar. But what would you say are some of the misconceptions or what are the major differences when you're trying to transition from a similar gig to actually being a voice actor?
I can answer that. I think, and I think Mara and Keisha coming from radio can also agree to this. There's a big difference between saying something and reading something. And as simple as that sentence may be, it took me years to get away from the announcer type of read because of my radio background. And I did hear rumors about it when I first began. But of course, like any woman who just is excited and very positive, you're just like, no, that's not going to be me. That's not going to be me. That's not going to be me. But there is just a huge difference. And you have to get to know yourself and your reading skills. How are you with, what would you be like if you're in a session and you have 6 people in your ear? Are you going to freeze up? There's just so many things into it that you have to ask yourself that I would just say, start reading, start practicing, record something. I don't care what you use your iPhone or whatever, record it, come back and listen to it. Does that really sound like something you would say and how you would really say it? Can you convince yourself of it? It's those little things like that that make the world of difference.
Can I add to that as well? Because I also come from radio and literally, to Issa's point, beating the announcer out of me. I mean, that was so hard. And this was over 10 years ago. Now, copy that I get literally says non-announcery. Like they keep going on about how a conversational. And I find that a lot of people that are new, when you put them in a booth, when you put them on a mic, they want to project. They want to enunciate. They want to do a lot of things that people who are casually speaking to other people are not doing. I don't enunciate to that degree when I'm speaking to Issa or to Keisha, but people have a feeling that when they get in front of a mic, that's what they need to do. So many times I've been in a booth and the direction will be, you know what, just throw it away. Do less. So if you're coming from a spoken word, presenter, host background, announcer, radio personality, really try to concentrate on being conversational, being truly conversational, like you're speaking to someone. Do less. That's something.
And what helps me, Malika, is sometimes I'll get an audition or even I'll get hired for a session, selling a product that I may not be familiar with. So I will research that to death. I'll get on YouTube. I'll say, oh, okay, I've never used Tide, detergent. I study the trends. I'll even I'll get on Facebook and I'll see what people are saying about Tide. You got to understand what you're selling. You know what I'm saying? And again, don't be afraid to act out the box. What does that mean? When you first got on and you were giving Rebecca love, cue up Rebecca, by the way, Rick, when you were saying that Rebecca has this this really sexy, sultry, I do love your voice, Rebecca, by the way. I went on and I pulled a commercial that I heard Rebecca in, and I wanted to play it for you guys because it really shows her range. Yeah, she can do that deep register, soulful, sultry, but she can also sound like this.
It's that time of the year again. Time for the kiddos to continue stocking up on knowledge. Make sure they're ready to learn and visit Target for all your back-to-school needs.
That's dope. That's dope. So I really, really hope that, you know, the ladies have helped you in your quest. And we're all accessible via Instagram. If you have any questions, be sure to follow us and we'll be there for you. Okay.
Absolutely.
I wanted to just shout out one person that I think you should follow, in addition to obviously all of the great ladies on this stage. We have a very talented colleague named Kabir Singh, who's an award-winning spoken word storyteller and voice actor. He actually just won the Voice Arts Award this year for a piece of poetry that he submitted. But you can find him at kabirsvoice.com and on social media. You know, he would be a great person for you to follow and see how he blends the two worlds of being a voice actor, you know, doing, you know, straight commercials and things like that, in addition to allowing his passion through poetry to continue to live in his voice.
Very familiar with him. He's a good guy, very talented.
Thanks, Molo. We appreciate you so very much. We're going to get these two other questions, and then we got I got a really hot segment coming up in a few. And then we also please don't go anywhere, because we also want to tell you how you can win a microphone. I went and bought a mic, y'all, and I wanted to give it.
Were you reading my mind? I was just about to say, you got to talk about that microphone, girl.
Yeah, I mean, we're telling people, we're dropping all of these jewels, and how are they going to get into it if they don't have the tools? So I went and bought a little microphone, and I'm going to give it away. And we'll tell you how to win that coming up in just a little bit. Okay. Candace, you ready to do your thing?
I'm ready. I just want to say thank you for having this, first of all, because I'm just sitting here smiling from ear to ear. Like, this is so dope to hear everybody talking. And Rebecca, the commercial that was just played, oh my gosh. Okay, so let's get to my question. I'm sorry, I'm just like so excited. Because voiceover work is something I've been wanting to do like for a long time. And I actually ended up just starting a YouTube channel. I just talk about that briefly so you'll know. I started a YouTube channel at the top of 2018. I had just had a baby, 4-month-old baby. And I was like, you know what? I need to do something to, you know, get my spirits up and things like that. And I saw everybody was on YouTube saying what they think, their opinion about this and that. And one of my girlfriends was like, girl, you just had a baby, just do it. So I did, but I had just had a baby. I didn't want to come on camera. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just do voiceovers. So I pretty much started, you know, talking about whatever I saw on TV or the Shade Room or whatever's going on, and just telling people what I think, but it was just my voice. And just having fun, I was able to captivate an audience of over like 200,000 people in the first 9 months or so. And always in the comment section, they would keep saying they like my voice, they like my voice, but I didn't understand what they liked about it. So I started to ask people, I'm like, well, what exactly do you like? And they're like, it's how deep it is. And, you know, you sound like you're on the radio and this and that. And I'm like, okay, so if that's something that people like and they enjoy, how can I try my best to make it a career eventually? But I kind of, to be honest, I got like low self-esteem. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can do that. So let me just get on camera, because maybe it'll be easier to get jobs on camera. And I was able to have some success when I came on camera. But now I'm like, I want to go back to voiceover because I actually genuinely loved it more. So I guess my question for all of you ladies, how can I utilize my YouTube platform to try to transition into voiceover work? Because that's really what my passion is. Whereas on YouTube, it's just something that's, you know, fun and other people do genuinely enjoy from me. But the voiceover part, that's what feels so good to me.
Mara.
Let's see. That's an interesting question. I have not used YouTube a lot as a tool, which I should. I know it's 2020, about to be 2021, but it's not something I've taken a lot of advantage of. But I am familiar with what I call passive aggressive marketing. Like, I'm not good at the direct phone calls. I'm not good at whatever. My career literally started from pretty much Googling every day, finding anything remotely voiceover related, finding a way to increase my SEO on my own website, and then getting on somebody else's website, creating a profile there, and, getting the word out about, my voice. And then, it started with my first pay to play client that was even remotely a recognizable name, and putting that, on my profile and saying I've worked with these people, and then, and building it from there. And then it just kind of snowballed. Let me ask, is there a particular aspect of voiceover that appeals to you? Are you leaning more towards doing character work? Are you interested in audiobooks? Are you interested in, promo type work on television? Are you interested, that's the thing too, kind of going back a little bit with the previous question regarding, how can I use my voice more in the industry? Once you start to get more familiar with the voiceover industry, you realize that, the sky's kind of the limit in terms of genres and how you can explore different colors of your voice and who you are. If you're doing, for instance, if you're focusing on doing, say corporate work, and, like we call it like industrial narration or explainer videos. And that's kind of a case where you're taking a product and, like the latest Microsoft laptop, and you're explaining how it works. Well, something like that doesn't necessarily require a lot of acting per se, or even personality. Oftentimes it just requires, a nice, confident, friendly voice, and that's enough to get the job done. Then you go all the way to the other end of the spectrum, and you're talking about, animation, where you really have to be comfortable with using your voice as an instrument and really showing personality, and not only have strong comedic skills and improv skills and ability to really think on your feet and be playful and get big when you need to get big and be comfortable in doing that. But then you have the other end of the spectrum, say, video games, which kind of leans more toward the dramatic. It's almost like doing dramatic film. Every video game I feel like I'm in now is, the second I walk into the booth, the director's like, it's okay, this game is going to be a post-apocalyptic setting. It's the end of the world. And it's like, yeah, I've heard it before. But, that's kind of where everything's leaning. And so those kind of lean in toward heavy drama. And so I would say you need to ask yourself those questions first and kind of see where is my long term, when I get that tingly feeling about doing voiceover, kind of where do I see myself in that world? And the awesome thing is the sky is the limit. You can start with things like apps, things that are educational. You can do kids' toys, you can do whatever, but all of those kind of involve different flavors of your voice and how you express them. But in terms of using something like YouTube, I would say if, for instance, like character work is something that you're leaning towards, number one, the best thing you can do on YouTube or social media, period, is to be yourself as much as humanly possible. That's what people are going to fall in love with. The realness of you, the playfulness of you, and the confidence of you. The more you can bring that out, the more you can be somebody that somebody wants to have a beer with, the more likely somebody's going to want to hire you and, feel like they want to hang out with you and hear more of you. So, play around, use your YouTube channel to, start reading poems or whatever, do little, I won't say radio plays because it's obviously on video, it's on YouTube, but, do plays, put together little skits with your friends, do shorts, whatever you want to do, to show your acting chops, to show, how you can use your voice and how you can be yourself and be playful. And now you have the added benefit that somebody is seeing you, visually versus just hearing a demo of yours and not really seeing, they're going to have that added visual connection to you. So that's going to be appealing as well. But just play around, the more you can just get on and start vlogging and just sharing part of your day, and people hearing your voice, that's a good way to do it. But of course, as we've all stressed over and over the course of this conversation, when it comes to really taking this serious as a career, you are going to want to coach because these genres are so different. And because, like everybody's expressed as well, it takes so long just to get comfortable with your voice. When people are telling you they love your voice, you need to ask yourself too, what was that being me? Was that my, polite, I just met you voice, which we all have? Was that my, the voice I used to talk to my partner voice? Was that the voice I used to talk to my employer voice? We've got a lot of different aspects to all of our personalities.
Yes,
and part of the beauty of this career is learning how to explore that and get paid. So, I would say, look into what parts of the industry that you're really interested in so you can kind of start honing it down. But at the end of the day, when it comes to being attractive as a potential hire in this business, or frankly, any business, it boils down to how confident you are in your own skin and how much you can share that with us. We're going to feel and we're going to hear if you're putting something on. So practice is going to make you more comfortable at that overall. And it's going to make people want to buy whatever you have to offer. And you're going to get more comfortable at not putting something on that comes across as real.
Candace, do you know how blessed you are? Do you even know who you're talking to right now?
No, I do. I
Don't
feel
start with
very
that.
good.
Listen.
No,
No,
that's
you should
so-
see, if you could see my smile right now, like my cheeks hurt. My cheeks hurt. I'm
You know,
smiling.
Mirror up. Just
Candace,
look mirror up.
I was going to tell you as a compliment, you know, I'm not familiar with your YouTube page, but you obviously got followers because people like you. So just a real, you know, simple thing that you can do is continue to be yourself. Do an explainer video on how the hell Clubhouse works. Do you know how many thousands of people don't know what Clubhouse is? Do a video where it's a visual and you're like, here's an app, guys. Have you ever heard of it? Be yourself and be like, if you don't know how the hell this works, this is how it works. And go, and that's an explainer. And there you have an explainer audio. And then you'll know whether you're good at that or not. You got to get to know yourself in VO. You know, and on Mara's point, just to elevate her, people just do not know. Anybody who's listening down there who's not in VO, you guys do not know the extent of a thespian of an actor that Mara is. If I get an audition today,
Listen.
no, really, if I get an audition today that says, yeah, I need a badass Beyonce queen who has a British voice, but can also slap the shit out of you while you're having tea, I wouldn't even open the email. But Mara, if you really want to know what incredible is, when you get out the app, go to her website, because there's a reason why I look up to her. But back to you, Candace, experiment. That's it. Experiment, because people like you for you. So use that to your advantage.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I
Thank
love
you,
you
ladies.
Mary will tell you like a TI is, honey. You know, she says, I'm trying to help you get paid.
That's
okay?
right.
Period.
I love you, ladies. I love you.
And Candace is so humbled, and just kind of like the Issa, when she was explaining, you know, her family ties, it was probably like a little uncomfortable. Candace, the same thing. She has like, I think her video has like over like 200 million views and over 500,000 followers. And
exactly,
she's really like a true entertainment hero on social media. People absolutely love her. She's so humble coming in here.
And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that she'll be successful with Voiceover. It's just about finding her voice, like everybody said, you know? That's really dope. Before we go to Avante, in our next segment, I want to talk about, so let me roll it back. So I don't know. I just felt like growing up, I had low self-esteem, you know, and I think intentionally chose a career that would hide me from the public, right? I never liked to be seen. I thought that being in a booth, you know, playing music and not having to be seen was perfect. And then voiceover was even giving me more privacy, because how often do you actually get to see the voices behind all these marvelous commercials and stuff, right? So would you believe that voiceover actually deals a lot with like racism actually exists in the voiceover arena, and we're going to talk about that next. If you haven't noticed, if you're just listening, just take a look at the stage. Look at all these beautiful faces. You know, we're all women of color, but there's one little white lady down there on the lower left. And
hi, little white lady here.
I mean, no pressure, but I mean, one of the reasons why I had to have Maria on this panel is she is such a wonderful ally. I mean, genuinely speaking, it's not performative. So I want to delve a little bit into racism in voiceover right after Avante asks her question. Hey, beautiful.
Hello, how are you doing? I just
that voice. Hey, that voice.
Oh, thank you.
Doing?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having this. Thank you, Rick. I just wanted to ask 2 quick questions. The first is I'll be starting my voiceover classes next month.
because I do want to start a voiceover career. However, while I'm in classes, I wanted to start auditioning. So I'm on casting networks, I'm on Actors Access, and I apologize if you already answered this. I was a little late, but as a beginner, where did you all find work? And what do you think about paying to get your reel on websites? And my second question is, should you try to do everything, or is it okay to kind of be typecasted? When I read and study and kind of do it on my own, I tend to go towards chocolate voiceovers, jewelry voiceovers, because when I read 7-Eleven and fun stuff, my upper register, I just don't really have a connection to it. It sounds forced. So I kind of stay where I'm really comfortable. And is that okay to stay where you're comfortable at, or should you try to expand? And those are my two questions. Whew. Malika.
Sorry, I'm slow to the unmuting button. Okay. I cannot answer the first question for you, or I would say I'm not in the best position, because I got an agent, and the second audition I booked, and it was a national network TV spot. I've been in SAG from then. Well, yeah, I was a must join, and then by the next commercial. So speaking of the pay to play spots, websites and so on and so forth, I wouldn't be best to answer that question. However, the second half of your question with regard to your voice. So here's the thing. You have to, and we've been saying this before, you got to be really comfortable with where you are. I know what my sweet spot is. I know that when I see words like anthemic, gravitas, trustworthy, like when I see certain adjectives, I'm like, okay, that's me. When I get a pharmaceutical, I'm like, okay, fair balance, I'm good. And that's a lot of what I book right now. I also for years would book for spots that were older than me because of my voice, it sounded older than I was. Right now I'm on spots for AARP, Cigna, for Medicare. I'm doing like Fidelity. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm fine with that because it works. When they want someone who's like young, quirky, girl next door, that ain't me all the time. I'm not saying I'm never going to get it, but I know what my sweet spot is and I'm at peace with my sweet spot. So that's what you need to be. You got to be really comfortable with where you are. That doesn't mean that you can't expand in it. I'll give you an example. I had one commercial where it's something where they were like real excited and it was like upper register. And I remember sitting in the waiting room and it was one of these rooms where the sound was bleeding in so I could hear all the women auditioning before me. And I was like, oh, hell no. Like, it was something like, come to the store and do this. Like, it was just really up there, really animated. And I was like, are they all choosing this or are they being directed? And sure enough, when I got in the booth, that was the way they wanted me to do. So I pulled it out and ended up booking the campaign and had it for over a year. That's not my regular place, but when I had to get there, I got there. But be comfortable with where you are right now, where your voice is, and just lean into it. You know, there's a market for it. So just be the best at being that person. And then as you begin to grow in the industry, you begin to stretch and you begin to find other ways to manipulate your voice and not be something else, so to speak, but you understand what I'm saying with regards to expanding. Now, for the first half of your question, I will pass it off. I'm not sure to whom though.
I'll jump in with the first half of the question because, I'm the nuclear kid on the block. So I will go ahead and answer that. As far as looking for work on some of the pay to play sites, I can only vouch for Voice 123 because some of the other sites, aren't so, don't have as much integrity. So Voice 123, I've been able to have good luck with Voice 123. It's great for finding your voice, I think, because you're doing so much auditioning, because you're going up against so many other people. So it was a great way for me to practice and get my feet wet and do all that type of stuff. It was great. And then there were times when I would book a job and the job was supposed to be maybe $500, $800, and then it turned into something much, much bigger, and the money doubled or tripled. So Voice 123 is a great way to do that. Also, use your social media game. I don't know if you're on Twitter, but there are a lot of castings on Twitter. You can go on there and just look up things like casting or directors, writers, actors. Follow those people, see what they're doing, and you might be able to audition for them and get some work. Other things like production houses. Look up production houses that might be local in your area, and see what they have going on and who's responsible for getting the voice talent for whatever projects that they have going on. So there are ways to hustle up work. I hope that answered your question.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Avante. Yeah, you gotta be a hustler. Like I tell people all the you really gotta, I mean, you really gotta love this craft in order to be successful, because there's a lot of competition out there. So, for me, some of the secret, sauce to my success is being available, and I realize that everybody may not necessarily be ready to
Keisha.
transition. Yeah. Can you hear me?
No, I just said your name because I was like, hell yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Sorry.
you're so stupid. It is true. Especially during this political season. Oh my gosh. I was working so much, y'all. I thought I was losing my voice. I had never been to like a vocal doctor. Yeah, they do exist. I was working day and night. And the reason for that, because think of the landscape of politics. Somebody would say something stupid, and then the folks in the PR room were ready to go ahead and crank out a commercial, and most times attack ads. So if it's 11:30 at night and my agent is saying, yo, you need to do this right away, that's why they love me. I like to actually think that my success is not really all about my voice and my talent. I just think it's my hustle. They respect my hustle. I live, breathe, eat, and do this thing, girl.
I
really,
have to
really do.
give you your props, Keisha. I'm the same way. Yeah. I was trying to explain to people the type of caliber of an actor that Mara is in this field, and I respect it to the fullest, because if y'all ever want to look at Wolverine, there's a video of Wolverine doing VO after the fact of his movies, and it'll show you how physical VO can be. But for me, Mara's man, who's also listening, who also did my voiceover demo, Jordan Reynolds.
Hey,
I'll
Jordan.
never forget.
Yay.
Yeah.
Mine
too.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Hey, Zaddy.
It was
Zaddy.
one of the biggest moments of my career. It was 2-3 years ago, and most of the spots that he put in my demo was me talking to you just like I am now. And just like Keisha, one of your questions and that we were going to tap on tonight was, how has been COVID? This has been my busiest year, especially in the political. For me, yes, I am available all the time. But I have a Frenchie puppy. I don't have any kids. I know that. A shout out to all the parents out there that are doing this VO work and their parenting. I don't parent anybody, you know what I mean?
Man.
So the availability is key. But also for me politically, like Keisha, Florida needed a lot of help. And if somebody needed from me to talk smack at 10:30 p.m. on Florida or whatever they needed, I would be right there. So I'm same with Keisha. Availability is amazing.
1,000%. And not to deter anybody, but again, this is a very competitive industry. And if you're not super hungry, you might not make it. And I say that with love. Maybe your ministry is something else, but you really got to want this in order to succeed. And I would say a lot of people in the audience can make it, because I've talked to a lot of them on Instagram, so forth and so on. So, Jakina, if you can, if you would, can you accurately try your best to express your appreciation for all of these people out here in the audience? Please?
Oh my God. Just seeing all of these beautiful faces out there. I keep kind of looking at the room and refreshing it, because we are at over like 250 people plus, y'all. So thank you so much for coming to join us, because as you can tell, we absolutely love this. I was actually thinking, Miss Keisha, we've been doing this for, almost 2 hours now. Did you want to tell the folks about the mic giveaway?
Ask Rick. He's the boss.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, let's have some fun. Do you want them to read script? How do you want to do this, Keisha?
Well, I really want everybody in the room, as long as you live in the United States.
Right.
Sorry, friends. I want everybody in the room to enter to win this microphone. I mean, when Rick gave me the green light to gather some of my favoriteest women in voiceover.
Mhm.
I just thought it would be kind of cool to get a mic. So I went out and I bought a mic, and I want to give it away to, somebody in the audience. So all you have to do is just enter to win. It's really, really simple. Just go to womeninvoiceover.com. and it'll just take you to like a little contact form. Just put your name and your information in there. And then I can't remember what date I picked on the calendar, but it will tell you after you hit submit. I'm going to post a video of the actual drawing. So it's really simple. It's a really nice mic. It's not a cheap mic either. What's the name? A Rode?
Yeah, it's a Rode NT1A microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
a beauty.
a USB microphone. Truth be told, I didn't always have this $1,000 microphone. I started out with a USB microphone, and it comes with like a little pop screen too. So I thought that'd be a really good gift. So yeah, gone over.
They're crashing your site, by the way. They're crashing
that microphone. Okay.
You hear me?
Oh no! Oh, is it crashing?
They're crashing it.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, that's so. Well, I mean, do they even know how lucky you are not only to be in the room with these amazing, powerful, talented women, but you gonna get a mic, okay? Nobody gave me a mic for free. I had to go down to Guitar Center and try out a bunch of mics. And yeah, they let me try out the $1,500 mic, and I ended up buying the $300 one. I sounded just as good on it. But do you understand what is going on here tonight? I hope you understand the gravity. Thank you, Keisha.
Right. Exactly. So to check this out, I want to shift it a little bit. This is something very important, and I don't know if a lot of people were kind of paying attention with all the racial unrest that our country has experienced just in this year alone. The topic of voiceover actually came up quite a lot on Twitter and other social media spats. But Rick, just to give them the visual, I downloaded a clip of this young lady. Her name is Sashir Zamata. She used to be on SNL. And I thought that her take on racism in voiceover was hilarious. Play part one for him, Rick.
I do some voiceover work, and voiceover is a weird world where you don't have to be culturally sensitive, or the casting directors don't have to be anyway. I do some stuff where I get sent out for like urban sounding commercials, even though I sound like this. And the casting directors are always like, could you make that a little more urban, like more ethnic? You know what I'm trying to say. Like more sassy, sass it up, like ghetto, or like blacker. Can you be blacker about it? Do you know what I say when I say blacker? Like a colored person, or like a Negro. I don't know what you want me to say for you to get it. Like a mammy. Do you guys like a mammy for me? Like a jigaboo, or like, can you shuck and jive for me? Or like a bush woman. Can you sound like a bush woman? Like a nigger. I want you to sound like a nigger. That's who we're advertising to. And I'm just like, oh my God, no! I know what you want me to do, but I don't want to do it. It hurts. It's good money, so I still do it, but.
Is that not the truth? I don't know about anybody else on the stage, but I got to tell you, my very, very first gig was to voice the part of Gloria from Madagascar by DreamWorks. It was like, you know how sometimes they have like a pre-show in like the amusement parks? And all I had, y'all, was one line. They like to move it. And I could not, they must have made me do that 1,000 times. And just like the young lady in the clip, that's what they were doing to me. Can you snap your neck a little bit? Can you give us a little bit more? They really want to say, can you sound black? That's what they wanted to say. But I've experienced that a lot, and I've been extremely frustrated with, well, you know what I'm saying. So I just thought it'd be great. I think great Maria has an awesome take on what I like to call, I'm just going to be bold about it, racism and voiceover. What do you say, Maria?
Well, I think that we've come a long way and we still have a long way to go. And I think one of the most important things that any people in power, whether they are white or people of color in power, can do is, number one, leveling the playing field and changing the language and how we talk about it. For so long, a white Caucasian voice, be it male or female, has been what's considered neutral. So anything that isn't a white Caucasian male or female becomes something that is different than neutral, different than the norm. That's where you get those very offensive keywords like asking people to be more ethnic and things like that. So one thing that I think anybody who's listening, if you are white in this industry, or if you are in a position of power, or you are doing a casting, change the language, and don't assume that the neutral ask is just simply a white Caucasian man or woman. Do what you can to include your friends of color and Indigenous friends on castings where they are not specifically requested. I have tried as an ally to do my best to include everyone who's appropriate for the role, even if a producer didn't specify, I'm specifically looking for a Black or African American talent, or I'm specifically looking for a Hispanic or Latinx talent. If they haven't given a specific guideline as to what they're looking for, make sure that you include Black, Indigenous, and people of color, Latino community. Make sure you include them if you are sharing options with a client. Don't leave people of color off the list just because they weren't specifically requested on a particular casting. And I would just like to say unequivocally, as a white person, as a Caucasian person, at no time should you be impersonating or voicing a character of color when it comes to, video games or animation. It's obviously a practice that was done as recently as, last year. And beyond that, it was commonplace for Caucasian actors to be performing voices of animated or imaginary characters of color. Step aside and let people who look like those characters voice those characters and speak their truth with their voices. Step aside, first of all. Do not impersonate the stereotypes of people of color. You cannot do it better than them. You are not performing a truth when you are doing your impression of what you think a specific person of a specific background sounds like. Don't do it. And make room. Make room. There is room for everyone. We are living in a voice first world. Your refrigerator talks back to you now.
Yes.
There is enough work for everyone, and make room. Invite your friends to the table. If they weren't invited to the table by someone else, pull up a chair, get them into the conversation. And it is not on our colleagues of color's backs to do this work. It is on our backs to do this work. We need to do the work. We need to call it out. If you see a casting notice that is racist or using ill-informed language, tell somebody. And you don't have to do it in an aggressive way. You don't have to do it in a public way. You don't have to do it in a demeaning way. But don't leave it up to the Black, Indigenous, and people of color to have the conversation with the casting director or the agent again and again and again to educate them as to why that is hurtful, why that is old, why that is not appropriate.
Right.
As a white person, you can take up that challenge too and let them know that there are better ways to ask for what they want. There are better ways to communicate that. So my commitment to the ladies on this stage and to the people listening is that I will continue to do that. I will challenge the other white people around me to do that. And that is the only way that we can undo racism in voiceover.
And
it has to be done by us.
And Maria, there's so many underlying polite ways of doing it. Here in Colorado, I know Mara was only here 2 years, but her man Jordan is, I think, officially from here. In Colorado, most of the Spanish auditions I will get daily will say, we need you to speak Mexican. What they mean by that is the word Spanish. They literally, you can be at the grocery store, at Target. Oh, you speak Mexican? People literally talk. They Spanish to them is called Mexican. So in polite ways, a lot of times I will say, hey guys, are you needing someone natively who was born in Mexico for this ad for Tide? Or are you wanting someone who speaks a neutral Spanish that everyone in the US is going to understand? And a lot of times they'll come back and be like, Isa, we need a neutral Spanish. Okay, then if it's neutral Spanish that you want, then, and so it's a kind of like a polite way of saying Spanish is not called Mexican. You know, so there's
and how
ways of
often do
doing it.
you get stuff that's sent to you with Google Translate Spanish?
Every single day.
It's
insulting. And now that I'm comfortable, with how much I make, and I guess I have more of a mouth and a back talk to me. If it's really horrible, don't ever forget that recording that you're doing is out there for the rest of your life. And whatever you choose to record is a representation of you. And if it sounds that bad, it's going to make you look bad too. So there's always polite ways of talking to people, of communicating. And you know what? If you don't know how, and Maria can attest to this, Maria, how many times have I texted you, because emails are not a strong point of mine, and asked you, hey, how would you say without offending somebody, blasey, blasey, blah? Always ask, because we're a great community of women and
absolutely
men.
And have that attitude that you want to learn
yes.
how to say it the right way. I know
yes.
Keisha and you and Mara can attest to that. When we were working on a project together, I sent out an email and I said, I am not a member of your community and I want to make sure that I'm representing this correctly. Can you please check my blind spots?
Right.
And you have to have the confidence in yourself and the confidence to know that you don't know everything, and learning and being uncomfortable is a big part of this process.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't, like everybody is saying, don't be afraid to ask, because ironically, what tends to happen is because people are afraid to ask in the beginning, they put some crap out there that was uninformed when they could have had it clarified by, the appropriate people in the first place.
Keisha, may I add to this? There's so many levels to this, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, what level do I want to approach when I discuss this? But I will say, and I have definitely started to hear things changing. But when I was starting out, and it wasn't that long ago, but when I was starting out, there was a difference in the quote unquote Black commercials and the quote unquote general market commercials. And I remember distinctly one time I booked this commercial. It was a major campaign. I was really excited. And it was a hair company, and they had 2 lines of products. One was for Black people, and one like for natural hair, and one was for everyone else, presumably. And I booked the commercial. I was unbeknownst to me. I just knew I was going out for a commercial for this project, unbeknownst to me. Later on, when I saw the commercial air, it was the same. It was literally the same music, the same verbiage. It was just the women in the commercial were different. But my commercial, because I was on the Black commercial, only aired on BET, TV One. And remember when UPN, well, in New York it was UPN 9, but like The Game and like Girlfriends, it was the network they were on, and WB before it became CW. It only aired on the Black nights for those shows. The other version of the commercial aired national network. And for those of you who aren't familiar, it's a different pay scale based on when these two commercials, how these 2 commercials aired. And so I remember saying, I'm like, okay, I could have done both. And the person who booked the other one was actually a friend of mine. We were with the same agency. She's someone who I'm cool with to this day, and she's a great voiceover talent. But it was just the idea that there are certain commercials that we're only going to play. And so I remember sitting down and having a conversation with my agent, because at the time I had been only going out really for commercials where they were looking for Black women. And I had to say, I want to go out for all commercials. And fast forward a few years, I ended up booking a new campaign for that same product, and it was general market.
Wow.
But it's still the idea that you have certain commercials. Like a great example is Blair Underwood. I know y'all know Blair, and hopefully if you're in New York, you saw Soldier's Play before Broadway shut down because he was just yummy. But he does a car commercial, and I think it's Lexus, I'm not sure, but I only see it air on BET or TV1. He could easily air everywhere. He's done everything. But there are certain commercials where we're only going to be in certain homes or in certain networks, on certain markets. Therefore, the pay rate is different. And so unless you adjust, as I did, and remove all regionalisms and all accents and whatever, how are you going to get paid? How are you going to get to the bigger stages? And so there's that as well. There used to be a time when I would go to auditions and I could tell by the women in the waiting room how I needed to sound in that audition. If I saw a bunch of Black women, I knew what they were looking for. If I saw a bunch of white women, I knew what they were looking for.
Code switch.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And so you learn and you adapt.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, and by the way, that clip that we just played for you, it is a part of like a stand-up, and there's a part 2, and I want to play it so that you guys can really understand that this is a real thing. But before we do that, because I'm trying to make it a little bit more, because I'm getting angry now because it exists, and I've been frustrated with it for a long time. But I just think with, Maria's optimistic outlook, I really do believe in my heart that we will be okay. You know what I'm saying? Because Maria is not afraid to say how she feels. And I mean, just like she's spitting the knowledge here in this room. I've seen her spit the same knowledge with the same tone and the same level of passion on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Maria, what you see is, I want to play the second part of quote unquote racist voiceover. And then after that, 5 reads with folks in the audience, and we're going to critique them. And we'll probably need to wrap this up because I think I could probably do this for another 3-4 hours, but I realize that everybody's, schedule ain't the same. So yeah, hit part 2, Rick.
I heard this ad on the radio station. It was on an urban sound. I heard this ad on the radio station. It was on an urban sounding station. It was basically like this. Ooh, girl, what happened to your carpet? Well, my kids just be running around all day. And it's like really hard to maintain a house at home. Well, you need to take yourself to Home Depot. And then a very middle American voice comes on and describes the website and the rest of Home Depot. But every time I hear an ad like that, I'm like, why does it have to sound like that? Black people understand words. I can just imagine the next Home Depot marketing meeting where they try to boost up their sales. And they're like, all right, we already got most of them with the ooh girl commercial, but we gotta kick it up a notch, get the rest of them in here. And so they re-record it. It's like, damn girl, your carpet looking straight ratchet. Pew, pew, pew. Well, my baby's kids just be running around all day. And I was cooking chicken on the stove and the grease was popping onto the carpet. And then Trey rolled up in here with his muddy boots from his construction job because he didn't go to college and can't get no better job. Girl, where is Trey anyway? Girl, he got arrested. Cops looked right up in the window and saw him selling drugs. Girl, don't you know they sell window treatments at Home Depot for $17.99? Tyler Perry's Home Depot.
It's real.
Wow.
It's real.
Wow. I wanted to
I did not want to laugh.
I had to do that one.
It's so important to have integrity and honor and moral and values in this business. And that's another reason why I love you, Maria, because you are a true ally. We all know that very recently we dealt with the issue where there was a Caucasian woman who was advertising herself as an African American woman and out there getting jobs that other African American women would have been out there to get. And some of her agencies and her allies were quite aware of it, and they knew what she was doing, and they were using the excuse that they couldn't find us and that there wasn't enough of us out there. And that's just so lazy and wrong and not right. And so you have to hold those agencies accountable. I know that, there was definitely jobs that she got that could have went to my sisters of color. I know that I have been put on rosters with her and challenged those people. Hey, either remove her and stop advertising her as an African American talent, or I'm no longer going to be on your roster. So you have to challenge people to make sure that they are holding up their end of the bar and that they're having values and integrity and that they're accurately representing us out there.
Wow, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, now that we got that hot, heavy stuff out of the way, again, thanks, Maria, for being, truthful. I appreciate it. Racism is not, the most comfortable thing to talk about, but I really do feel empowered with your outlook. And again, what she's saying in this room, she has said all over the place. So I do have hope. So I appreciate that. Let's have some fun, y'all. Thanks, everybody. Of course, this is Women in Voiceover. If you could just do a little keeping here. If you go to the top of the page where it says Voiceover and there's that little green house, make sure you click on that house and follow the Voiceover Club group. Why? Do I really have to explain that? You see all of this goodness that's in the Voiceover family. This is a marvelous industry. And the reason why it's marvelous is because of the people who are in it and are so willing to share and be vulnerable. And follow the group, y'all. Number 2, what we're going to do is we're going to just do 3 audience live reads. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the room. And if you would like to volunteer to read a script, we'll send to you on your Instagram page. And then we'll do a little critique. It's going to be cool. You see all of these people wanting to read, right?
Yep.
Do your job.
Can I just say these are brave souls, because I don't know if I would do this right now.
Listen,
no, Malika. We did this for 7 straight hours the other night. 7 straight hours. People were, it's awesome. I got to be honest with you. I have paid in upwards of like $3,000 to go to conferences and read for people. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is the honest to God truth. So this is an opportunity, just to see if you're in the right direction. So again,
how many do you want, Keisha?
I sent you 3 scripts. So let's just do 3.
Okay, I got 3 people.
And gentlemen, don't be shy.
Good, you have like 54 people in queue.
Right?
54 people in queue.
Right,
that want. Wow. So here's what I did, Keisha.
Be sure to pick a guy.
Keisha, so you're going to put them in your Instagram page. So what I did to make it easier, but what were you going to do? Are you going to post it on your Instagram page, or what were you going to do?
No. What I want you to do is I want you to pick 3 people.
Right.
Hit their Instagram link and send them the script.
So here's what I did. Just go to rickparty.com and you'll see the Women in Voiceover link. Click that and just download the script at rickparty.com. Just download it right now if you're on your phone. So everybody has Stitches, Toniel, Dina, everybody put your mics on mute as well. Let me see. I have all women here. Let me see if I can find a guy. I don't see many guys.
Jordan just clicked on the script to test it out, and he said it's giving him an error message that you need access and that people have to request access. I don't know if there's a way to make it public really quick.
Okay. So what I'll do is do what Keisha said. Then I'll do something differently here. Technology, right? We're trying to do something new here.
Right.
Hold on.
Don't be shy, guys. Step on up.
We are mean as hell too.
So what I'll do here. Jeez, everybody's hold on. This is kind of weird. Hold on one second. Let me just make this available for
Who's
everyone.
going to be Simon? I want to be Randy Jackson.
Give me a second, ladies.
I could be Simon.
Who?
Oh
Wait.
no.
Look, I
Who's
want to be
always the
Paula
nicest?
Abdul and take
I'll do
a
that
sip
one.
every time. I want to be Paula Abdul. I want to sip.
Oh, I forgot Paula was an option. Wait.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me try this again really quick. We're doing something new here. Tell me if you guys, if you all can click on it again and tell me if it works.
It went through, Rick. Thank you.
Yep, looks good.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Yep, Jordan can access it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we're good.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Okay. So let's do it. Up first is Stitches. Stitches, unmute your mic if you can hear us.
Yes, thank you. OMG. First, I just want to say thank you guys. I had the DM Rick that I was trying to record my shows and y'all had me stopping to listen to y'all. I'm now in the car pulling over to do this script. So pardon me. Let me pull this up right now.
All right. So
That's dedication.
while she's pulling over, wait, it's gonna just take her a few seconds.
Yes, let me make sure I don't get hit.
Okay, yeah, you pull over. So we're gonna come back to you. So Tonil?
Please don't get hit, Stitches, please.
Hi, it's Tennille. I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute. Thank
Yes.
you. Yes,
So have you pulled the script already?
I have.
Perfect.
I was just practicing. So I pick one to read for you.
Keisha?
I'm listening. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She wants
So
to
I
know.
just-
Yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just select any one and read for you.
See, Rick, this is you. The copy that I sent you is what I have available.
Yeah.
So I don't know what she's reading right now.
I see Zest, I see Red Lobster, and I see Reebok.
Okay. So you did put. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Take your pick and give it a roll.
All right. Great. I'll try the Reebok one. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit. Just like me, working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and to do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
Go ahead, Rick.
You want me?
Yeah, because I'm doing something real quick. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm going to pass it to the ladies here. So, ladies, you've heard the script. What's your critique on that? And
That was a great warm up. I would like to hear you read through it again, but this time, first of all, tell me who you have in mind when you're doing this script. I want it to be somebody that you know and somebody you're comfortable with, and you're not selling it to them. You're just telling them how you feel after, a hard day.
So to be candid with you, if I were really going to read something for you, the one that would be probably closely to who I am is the Red Lobster one. I tried the Reebok as a stretch. So,
Well, don't worry about
I
it.
just opened these and started to review them quickly. So
No.
All right.
So as
No
you look at
pressure at
that
all.
script, think of
Yeah.
those cheddar biscuits that you get
Yeah.
from Reebok. Okay, so
From Red Lobster.
exactly.
Not Reebok. They don't have the cheddar biscuits.
Right.
All right. So Red Lobster. Okay, great. It's time to pick favorites at Red Lobster. Choose freshly breaded shrimp, juicy, scampi shrimp, or one of our bold new tastes. Mix and match any 2 dozen for $9.99. 2 dozen shrimp. Just $9.99 now at Red Lobster.
No, I didn't hear you talking to a girlfriend there. I heard you reading.
Okay.
You
Selling.
know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I there's a difference between I'm putting on an excited voice that, oh my God, Red Lobster is amazing, and actually being like, oh my God, have you been to Red Lobster? Have you tried the shrimp? Like, let me tell, like, I want to hear you come through. I want to hear how you feel about it, as if you were telling me. But again, nowadays we don't want anything too selly, right? So you let your passion come through, your enthusiasm, but you wouldn't be selling it to me as your girlfriend. You know what I mean? You might be selling it a little bit because you want me to order it and taste it, but nothing beyond that. I want to hear that kind of natural excitement from you in your delivery.
Right. And
so with that in mind,
I'm saying give Juicy a little life. I mean, Juicy's a word, so make it come to life. Let me see a juicy shrimp.
that's right. You would in normal conversation, you wouldn't put an adjective like that in your speech unless you were using it as a strong modifier for how you feel about something. So you'd be like, oh, these juicy shrimp. And I'm not going to line read it for you, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where you want to pay attention. And this is the difference that we were trying to illustrate earlier about the difference between a radio read, where sometimes for radio, that's all you have to do is just read it and have a smile on your face. But in voice acting, I want to hear you talking to me about how you feel about those biscuits and that shrimp.
And quickly, Neil, do you like shrimp?
I actually do love. I love crab legs better, but I love shrimp. I do.
Well, take that.
You want to hear that?
Right.
The crab
Take
leg
that
love
love
and
for
give
the
it to
crab
the
legs
shrimp.
and apply it to the shrimp and make me want to run out to Red Lobster after we get off the phone. Let's go.
All right.
Oh, may I quickly, because I just like to add that I was told early in coaching, don't be in love with your voice. So you have a beautiful voice, but let go of it. Stop thinking about it. Stop listening to yourself. Don't try to sound pretty. And that's my struggle. Don't try to sound pretty. Just talk.
Okay.
Sound real.
Don't be in your
Thank
head.
you. All right. I appreciate that. You're talking to a former school teacher, total novice. So thank you. This is very helpful. Right. Okay. So it's time to pick favorites at Red Lobster. Choose freshly breaded shrimp, juicy shrimp scampi, or one of our bold new tastes. Mix and match any 2 dozen for $9.99. 2 dozen shrimp, just $9.99 now at Red Lobster.
Okay, let's break that down a little bit. So what's the first line?
So it's time to pick favorites at Red Lobster.
Okay, now the way I heard you read it was kind of like you were announcing it, like as if you were kind of like a Vanna White presentation, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you were telling this to your girlfriend sitting at the table, how would you say it?
I would probably say, girl, it's time to pick favorites again at Red Lobster.
Oh, did you guys feel that?
Yes. It's time to pick favorites at Red Lobster.
Better. Yeah.
Okay.
1000% better.
You know, I can add words is what I'm hearing. I don't have to straight read. I can insert some.
Oh yeah, I mean, you don't need to go
it.
crazy with improvising, but absolutely adding a little life to it. That's because, you know, when you think about the casting directors who have to listen to these auditions and they hear it's time for like they've heard that 20,000 times.
All right.
If you're, 20,000 number one, you want to be the voice that stands out, and it's not going to happen by sounding like everybody else that came before you.
Okay.
Even if it sounds ridiculous, like, ooh, it's time to pick favorites at Red Lobster. You can be
Absolutely. Every casting that we are all seeing right now, it all says non-announcer, conversational. We don't want a voice actor. We want a real person. We want somebody off the street that you just put in front of a microphone. So anytime you see that listed with an audition, that is your free pass to put yourself into it. And if naturally you would start that conversation with, girl, I need to talk to you about these biscuits, then do it. Because it's going to make you feel.
Who's your
That's
best?
how it
who's one of
comes
your
to
best
life. This is how
girlfriends?
people talk. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. Who's
that's
one
the
of your
thing.
best girlfriends, Tennille? And
Coco. I have her in
Coco.
mind.
Okay,
I have
pretend
her
like
in
you
mind. I'm
telling
talking to Coco.
Coco. You're telling Coco it's time to pick favorites at Red Lobster. How would you talk
So,
to Coco about this?
okay. All right. Yes, Coco. Koyama. All right. Girl, it's time to pick favorites at Red Lobster. They have freshly breaded shrimp, juicy scampi, or they have a bold new torch. Oh, sorry. Let me try that again. I'm still trying to overperform this. Girl, it's
Already
time to,
1,000% better. Already 1,000% better.
thank you. Girl, it's time to pick favorites at Red Lobster. Choose freshly breaded shrimp, juicy shrimp scampi, or they have some bold new tastes. We can mix and match any 2 dozen for $9.99, girl, and biscuits. 2 dozen shrimp, $9.99 now at Red Lobster. Let's go.
Boom!
There you go.
Hey.
You guys
There
hear
it
the
is.
difference?
And the ad lib
Yes.
at the end.
Absolutely.
That's
Awesome.
everything. That is what is going to stand out to a
Awesome.
casting director when they've heard those 19,999 other auditions.
Right.
Right there.
Tennille,
It's that
when-
realism.
when you
You're
were
fabulous.
practicing and reading copy and practicing and
Yeah.
getting better and better, one thing I want you to think about is everything that's not on the page, right? So a
Mhm,
commercial's got to
mhm.
be 15 seconds or 30 seconds. There's only so many words they can get in there. But in a real conversation, there's a
Yes.
lot of stuff that's happening in between the margins with your body language and everything like that. So when you're practicing scripts that you have in front of you,
Yes.
try and even verbalize or have fun with the things that aren't being said. So in this script, you've got those 3 different kinds of shrimp, right? So
Yeah.
we've got the breaded shrimp, we've got the juicy shrimp scampi, whatever. Think about how you would actually transition that. Like, let me lay it out for you. We have got breaded shrimp. Breaded shrimp, not your thing. We have got shrimp scampi. Shrimp scampi, not your thing. We got this thing. Like how you would actually be talking and all of the things that are happening in between. And then the copywriter boils it down to the 62 words that make it into the commercial. So when you're practicing, go too far, go wild.
Okay.
And then you can come
Okay.
back to the script.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks
Super
so
helpful.
I just want to say you were
Thanks,
really
y'all.
brave. You were really brave being the first, and that's always rough. So we
Aw.
appreciate you.
Hey.
Thank you. I appreciate
You
the
killed it.
feedback and this time. Thank you. Thank
Night
you.
and day improvement. Night and day.
Good job. Stitches, are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm on the grass and she's ready to go.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll do the zest, and I will say I'm sorry. I'm like literally cheesing from left to right. This is like feeding me. So thank you, Rick. Thank you, all the ladies who are on. Thank you. So I'm doing a zest. 4 new colors and fragrances. Twice the lather of soap. Twice the fun. It's a refreshingly different type of clean. New Zest body wash. Feel the clean? Have some fun.
I like your voice, Stitches.
Thank you.
I really, really do. But this is what I want you to keep in mind. When you're auditioning for a spot, you're not the only one auditioning. And these agents and directors, 9 times out of 10, I can promise you that they're overwhelmed. They do not have time. So you have got to wow them from the second you open your mouth.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Whatever that is, understand that you really, it may be a 10-second or 15-second read, but in reality, you only got about 2 seconds to make them say, oh, wow. Yeah, definitely. She's the one. So kind of, girls help me out. But I think that's the first thing that I got from your read, that you lost me at second 2 or 3.
Okay.
Overall, though, your energy is good. I think you picked a great brand for your voice because I can hear the smile. I can hear the joy and your natural personality come through. But again, the product is zest. So let's see if we can be a little more zesty with it, have a little more fun with it. Get a little more excited about it. That's one thing that is a nice trick that we can always use when it comes to doing a commercial, whether it's a product that we are absolutely fanatical about, or it's a product that maybe we don't care that much about. You can do a substitution. So if you maybe don't even like zest, you can think of something that you do like, maybe you like jewelry, maybe you like whatever it is, and you can in your mind substitute it, but whatever would be on brand for zest in the way that they would advertise and send their message across is the way that you want to kind of match your attitude. Because overall, that's one thing too, when it comes to commercial campaigns, a lot of times, people may be looking for new voices for different products and things like that. Oftentimes you're going to find that companies overall don't generally vary too much when they're taking new chances on new voices when it comes to how their brand is defined. So if you know that Zest usually is really pretty perky and zesty, then make sure you keep that part of your personality going when you bring the read. But overall, it was a fantastic start. But let's see what happens the second round.
Nice. Thank you. Okay. 4 new colors and fragrances. Twice the lather of soap. Twice the fun. It's a refreshingly different kind of clean. New Zest body wash. Feel the clean. Have some fun.
Wow.
You did this
Wow.
before.
Wow.
You did this before. You're a voice actor. Stop playing. Seriously?
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, that was great.
Much better.
That was awesome.
I got nothing to say
I
on
really
that.
love her
That was
voice.
exactly.
I'm too
That's
dark to
nice
blush. Don't
texture.
do that to me, y'all. She too dark to blush. Don't do that. Thank you.
That's really good.
Good job.
Yeah, I don't know how
Wow.
anybody could listen to that and not stop in their tracks and feel. I mean, your enthusiasm was absolutely infectious. I mean,
I want to get.
I
in the
want to buy
shower
some
right
Zest
now.
right now.
Right.
Okay.
I do too. And you know what, guys? Something that we probably have not mentioned before. I think also a crucial part of being successful in voiceover is to be coachable. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It ain't about my voice. It's about having the ability to take direction. And that's exactly what you just did. That was marvelous.
And
That
never
was really,
forget
really
it.
good.
And never forget advice. I'm not going to mention what voiceover coach said this, but he's extremely expensive. And he said something to me that was like an ah moment, just because I don't really listen a lot to people all the time because of my attention span. But he said, when you're talking to
Mosquito.
when you're when you're talking to people, let's say you're talking to your mama, whoever it is, okay? When you're having a conversation with somebody, do you ever, after you talk to somebody, say, "Did that sound okay?" Never. Why? Because you're being yourself. You're not questioning what you just said.
Right.
And when they said that to
Right.
me, it just really resonated. So
It clicked, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, lady. Wow, that's good.
All right.
All right, Deanna. Wait, I know Stitches. Stitches is a radio woman.
Okay, there we
And
go.
Deanna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dina.
Dina.
Yep.
Hey, Dina. I know
Hey,
you.
Rick.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
You don't know
Hey, Dina.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay, so I don't like Zest. I don't like Red Lobster, and I don't work out. So let's see here. Which one will I do? I guess since the other two were done, I'll just do the Reebok. How's that? All right.
Whenever you're ready.
Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit, just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there is nothing I can't do.
All right, now who are you talking to?
A friend.
Nah, which friend? See? I want you to give me a friend's name.
Okay. Let me try it again.
Preferably somebody that you would feel comfortable not wearing makeup around.
Okay.
And real quick, what I liked about that read, believe it or not, is when she got to that line, just like me, she kind of chuckled a little bit. Like, you know, they're lightweight, they never quit, just like me. That stood out to me. That same kind of enthusiasm, smile when you say it. And remember, you're talking to a friend.
Okay. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, they're lightweight, and they never quit, just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reebok, there's nothing I can't do.
That was definitely improvement. But I want you to listen to some, think back at some of the phrases that you're saying, like when you're saying, and do it well. Would you talk to your bestie that way?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's what
right.
these are the nuances that I want you to start to pay attention to.
Okay.
Because again, nobody wants to be pushed anything. Nobody wants to be sold anything. How many times have we gone to go purchase a new car?
Right.
And we're like, I'm not going to buy. I know their tricks. I know whatever. Advertisers know this. And that's why they stress that whatever we do be as conversational as possible, because nobody wants to see you coming. They just want to feel like you are a friend letting me know about the best secret you ever found. This is something that you just so happen to love, and you're sharing it with your friend. You're not pushing it on me. You're not trying to sell anything. You're not trying to get a commission. You are a real person, and you're telling me about what it's like to live your stressful life and how this product, in this case, Reebok, is solving your problem.
Okay.
So before you start, who's your friend?
Yvonne, one of my best friends.
One of your best. All right.
One
Now,
of my besties. Yeah.
Yvonne. Now, you know Yvonne's going to check you if you try to start putting something on now. So
Right.
Yvonne's sitting right next to you. It's girls' night. We got the wine glass in hand. Tell her what you think about these Reeboks.
Okay.
And even if you have to put, even if you have to, and this is something I used to do in radio a lot, even though radio is kind of like the opposite. I used to literally put pictures on the console. It helped me.
Like
that was a
you're
little
talking to
trick that
someone.
It helped me talk directly instead of, and have a mental, visualization of who you're talking to. But sometimes you can even have a physical. So even if you need to pull her picture up on your phone, do that and talk directly to her.
Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Nobody cares how you get there. It's about what we hear in the end.
Okay. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I am impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always try to make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. That's why I really believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, they're lightweight, and they never quit, just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there is nothing I can't do.
Boom. Do you feel that? Do you feel the difference?
That was dope.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Where do you feel hung up?
Maybe because I don't connect to it because I don't exercise. I don't know. I'm not connecting to the words. Yeah.
Okay. But I think we can all connect with, this is where script analysis is going to be your, savior.
Right. Because you may not always connect to the script.
Oh,
right?
of course not. I
Yeah.
mean, we're like fashion models. Fashion models are the hanger for the product that they're wearing. We don't get to choose. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, if it comes to like a political spot or something and there's a certain side you don't want to represent, you can always say no. But in general, we're here to amplify the voice of the brand that hires us. So it's your job to connect in some way. Can you connect with being busy and finding time to spin your wheels? I'm sure you can.
Right.
Can you connect with, even if you miss something, insert the blank, that you're grouchy, maybe it's coffee, where you always make something a priority. Maybe it's checking your phone, maybe, your social media, whatever it is, you can always, this is where substitutions and script analysis are key. This is where you really want to absorb the words that are coming out of your mouth. And you don't have to necessarily be representing that product per se. You are representing a feeling. And this is why when the buyers are hiring you, they're hiring you for your personality and for your ability to be as natural as possible, because they want to capture the feeling.
Right. Regardless of the product.
Absolutely.
Even
because they don't want you to feel like they're selling you Reebok.
About the product. Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you think about certain brands, like whether it's Nike, Just Do It. What are they selling? They're selling independence. They're selling freedom. They're not selling you a shoe. That's what they want you to believe. And that's what any product is. That's why they spend millions of dollars a year, every year, on branding experts to give you a feeling. Coca-Cola has a certain feeling. Apple has a certain feeling, a certain crowd that they're trying to connect to. That's what it's about. But what it all comes down to is the realism of you coming through as a real person saying, I just love this shit. Now let me tell you why it's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's all it comes down to.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okie dokie.
But great improvements, really, overall. Really great.
Okay.
Tanya.
God, this is so dope. Thanks, Dina. Jesus, I'm not doing well right now. I feel dizzy.
Oh my.
That I feel high.
Oh.
I swear, Mary, you are so dope.
Is that a good high?
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
That's a good high, right?
Good high.
And you know what? I don't know if we talked about the benefit of a lead-in either. A lot of times, because
I was just gonna say that.
Yes, and when you're reading something cold, I mean, I don't just start off going, I'm busy. That's still sometimes, you know what I mean? So there might be times where I'll leave something, because you can always delete that out, and you got to sound like you get up and I be working out is what you live for. That's what you love. You want to go in here. You want to do those repo, just like Mira was saying. So you can do a lead in. I think she said her friend's name was Yvonne. So you could be like, Yvonne, girl, you know what? Even though I'm busy, just whatever you can do to help it sound more natural. So that
I was just gonna say that.
Yes.
One of my, besides Mara and Mara and Jordan, we both know how amazing Josh Goodman is. He's an amazing voiceover actor. But he came from the same radio building as I did, and was very, very successful at what he did in radio. But when I was trying to get the radio out of me, he always said, starting with something in the beginning. So is it Deanna or is it Dina? I forgot. But regardless, Dina. So Dina, for example, for Reebok, if you're going to be recording by yourself, ain't nobody hearing you. So you can start with, you know what, this is bullshit. Even though I'm busy, it doesn't, just lead in with anything that's going to bring an emotion out of you, because I'm just learning this the past 1 or 2 years. I know that there are directions that you are going to see as voice actors when it comes to an audition. But I'm telling you, 60% of directors really, 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 really still don't know what they want. And sometimes
they never do.
Sometimes you will convince them that they wanted you, and they forgot who was even. It's just like I went one day to an Usher, to a Janet Jackson concert, and Usher opened so well, I forgot I was there for Janet. The same thing with VO. You may just, I don't know, just change their mind. So always be open-minded.
This is where the lead-in that Trakina and Issa were talking about, this is something that you could gain from, acting 101 as well. In acting, we call it the moment before. What happens the moment before you're talking? And in our world of very conversational voiceover right now, commercial voiceover, it's almost like the commercial is just two people sitting at a table talking about Red Lobster or Zest or Reebok or whatever. It's two girlfriends sitting at Starbucks in non-COVID times, and somebody just moves a boom mic overhead and catches 15 seconds of their conversation. And there's something that happens before that conversation is going on. There's something that happens after. So anything that you can do as a voice actor to bring that moment before to life, whether that's giving yourself a little bit of a pre-life, having conversation with the person that you're talking to about this product or service, anything that you can do to bring that moment before to life gives that much more life to the lines that you're going to be reading. And I don't know if it was Keisha or Mara who were talking about, when a casting director is listening to audition after audition, if everybody says that opening line the same way because they're coming in on an attack on that opening line, if you are having a little bit of a moment before, you take a good breath before the copy starts, and you can edit out that pre-life before, your first delivery of that first line is going to sound completely different from everybody who attacked it as the first thing they said, the first thing out of their mouth. Bring it to life. Play with it as much as you need to. But that's a huge part of bringing these words off the page.
Yes. And my wonderful hubby, Jordan Reynolds, just brought up a great point too. He said some of this instruction we're giving you may be a little confusing because you can easily turn on your television tonight and you're going to hear some spots with people doing reads that are just friendly and just really loud and all that. But guess what? I can guarantee you 9 times out of 10, those reads are either infomercials or they are local market commercials, which that's not to say that you can't make money in that, but we're trying to train you for the higher echelon, the higher tier work, the national commercials where, you know what I mean, more of that raw sound is there. And of course, there are rules to national commercials as well. You're going to hear a lot of stuff where your voice has to be more contained because your background. That's a thing too we haven't addressed. If it's a television commercial, you're more likely to be an accent to what's happening on screen. You're not there to necessarily be a big personality, depending on the type of spot, the type of brand, if it's a comedic spot, what have you. There are certain rules within the genre. If you're doing a radio spot, that's where you can bring more of you and the personality, and this is all me. But all that to say, just as a disclaimer, if you hear something tonight that sounds like, well, that's just a, you know, friendly, loud announcer voice. Sure, those voices will always exist. They still exist.
Right.
But the point is, we're trying to get you to the next level. So there's that.
Right. And here's the thing. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to tell Tanya, I hope she's taking notes. And the only thing that I would add to all the marvelous advice that the ladies are giving is use your body too. Because when you're having a conversation, don't you use your body? Don't you use your hands? Don't you shrug your shoulders? Don't you scratch your head? Do what feels natural. And for me, that works tremendously for me to get into it. You know what I'm saying? I was actually thinking about videotaping me reading one of these spots to show you guys how animated I is, but it really, really helps. So
I think that's a great idea. You know, I personally didn't realize, I didn't think that I was a person that talked with my hands until I saw myself on a couple of interviews, realizing that every time I started really thinking, I was talking with my hands. I think there's a lot of power when you're first getting into this, especially, you know, when we're starting this business from scratch, and maybe you are starting out like I did in a small town where you don't have a lot of pro feedback. It's all on you to be the eyes and ears to kind of really pay attention to every little nuance, to get to know your voice, to get to know your personality, to get to know those little keys that unlock how you normally act in everyday life. Because what inevitably is going to happen when you first start hearing your voice, you're going to cringe. You're going to be, you know, shocked that you actually sound like that, because the way we hear ourselves within our own ears is not the way we sound when we hear it from an outside perspective. That's just a physical way we're set up biologically. So there's that adjustment you're going to have to make, is getting used to the sound of your voice. Then you're going to have to get used to the sound of your real voice, not the polite voice that you put on, you know, for the person you just met, but the one that you put on when you've just had that first glass of wine and you're chilling on the couch with your girlfriends. And that's where we want to get you, because that's what ultimately is going to have people coming back for more.
If I may, I just wanted to make 2 quick points. One, I hope that for everyone listening, you see now that this voiceover shit is hard. It is not simply about being able to have a nice voice and read well. Now, maybe you're getting a view of what it's like. Like it's so much more than that. It's so much more complex. And this has just been a beautiful thing. And my second point is, copy is so very seldom. Like, it's a rare, wonderful day, a unicorn of a day when you get copy that is written the way you would actually say it. So it's a tall order. We know to say that like you would say to your girlfriend. I am never going to make that like the Zest commercial. None of it. None of that is how I actually talk to a friend. And we know that, y'all, it just is a struggle. It's something that with practice, you do get over. But I just wanted to illustrate how it is not just as simple as picking up a microphone and being like, I can read, I can talk. So there you go.
Tanya, you ready? Good stuff.
Yes, I am. Hello?
Yes.
Hi. Yes, I am ready. The question, should I be using headphones or?
No, you don't need headphones. As long as you can, if you need headphones to hear the ladies, yes.
No.
Okay, no, you don't need headphones. We
Okay,
can hear
well,
you.
hello, everyone. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for the opportunity. So, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Reebok. That's actually the one that I was thinking of from the beginning. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Sound great.
All right. Okay, thanks. All right. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit, just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
That was a great first read.
I felt that. I felt that.
Yeah.
I did. I love that. I did. And you know why? Because
Yeah.
smile contagious. And I just felt her smile. So I'm sitting here smiling at a damn Reebok commercial. Like, can you picture that, right? So that was a good first read. Any advice going into the second, girls?
Thank you.
I love the personality I hear in your voice. So I was very much like, okay, I'm with it. I believe you. What I would like to hear, and y'all back me up or add something to it, but I would like you to speed it up just a little, because in the moment where you gave it too much of a pause, it felt too staged. So you had moments where your personality shone, but then it was like, but I do such and such. And I don't think that we really talk like that, right? So I want to hear that same you, that same personality infused into this copy. But would you speed it up a little bit? Maybe make it a little bit more, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and kind of also be mindful. I mean, one thing that I don't think it's addressed enough when it comes to voiceover is that our voice is our instrument. And just like you would see, a cellist or a violinist, waxing up their bow before they get started, we have to adapt our voice and play it as an instrument. And what I was hearing, if your voice was an instrument melodically, it started to kind of get into a predictable rhythm. Even though you kind of had a realistic attitude about it, it was just kind of like, even though I'm busy, I find time to spin my wheels. If I miss one day of working out, it's, you know what I mean? I don't want to know what the next sentence is going to sound like. And that doesn't mean to go deliberately to try to sound random, but it just means to, again, this is another layer of voiceover that you need to start paying attention to. Is you've got the smile down, you've got the natural sort of read down. I don't feel like you're putting on a pitch or trying to sound a certain way in terms of being polished, but there is a rhythm that you're kind of getting into. And just listen to how I'm speaking to you now. There's different dynamics. My notes are going up, they're going down. I'm kind of taking little pauses here and there. But then you have to do that within the constraints of eyeballing this. This is a 30-second spot. You have to do that all within about 29 to 28 and a half seconds. So let's give it another shot. But that was a great first read, but let's give it another shot with that in mind. Yeah. And just have fun.
Just make it a little messier.
What Mary said, she basically played with pace, right? Because
and tone.
When she was talking to you, there's times where she was saying something faster. Sometimes she was speeding up here. She was slowing down here. She was putting emphasis here. Play with pace. Don't be afraid to throw out the comma if the comma don't fit there and that's not where you would put it. Play with pace.
Okay, I'm so excited. Like, you guys, you just really don't know my story. I'll have to tell you that when you ask me. Okay, so let's give it another whirl. Okay. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit, just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
That damn air horn.
Definitely an improvement.
Much better.
Thank you.
And one thing you need to know too is when you have these sessions, people are going to say, "Hey, I like it, but give me another read." So that first read is the read that got you in the door. And sometimes you're in a session, that one commercial could take 2 hours, 3 hours, because they go, "Yeah, I like that, but," and then the writers and the producers and everyone else who's involved, they may have a different take, and they may just shut you off like this. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, the
Hello.
more you can provide options.
Yeah.
Well,
That was Anya. Excellent.
thank
Excellent.
you all so much. And like I said, I'm so excited. And I just want to say, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Okay, just a quick little bio. So growing up, when I was little, I went to Catholic school, and the teachers and everyone would always have me read in front of the class. They would always pick me, and I used to hate it. I'm like, why do they always pick me, right? And then, like, growing up, people used to always ask me, why do you talk like that? Why, you must have been around white people. You sound funny. And so I actually started making up excuses like, oh, hey, I'm from Fresno. That was like my city I was from. I'm from Fresno. And they'd be like, oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, that's why you talk like that, right? So like all my life, I've heard like different things about how I talk. And so it's just so cool to know now, you know, as an adult, people are paying for voices. So
Absolutely. And not only voices, they're paying for the personality. I feel like the importance of the neutrality of the voice is going by the wayside and being replaced with how authentic can you sound. You know, because I too, when I first got into this industry, I was very concerned, you know, that I didn't sound ethnic enough and urban enough and all of these different things, because I didn't hear people who sounded like me on TV. You know, but what I found was the more I got comfortable in my own skin, the more I got comfortable with just how I sound when I'm keeping it real, the more people respond to that. And we're in an era now, thank God, you know, 2020 has been crazy for a lot of things, but at the same time, we're finally in an era where, you know, diversity is on the table. We're trendy now, and people want to hear the color in our voice, and they want to hear these variations, and they want to hear all that stuff that makes you unique or special or sound like you're from Fresno.
Right.
So you don't have to apologize anymore.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much again, and you all have a happy new year.
Thank you. You too.
Me too.
Thank you.
All right. Joy.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody?
Hey.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hey, on this New Year's Eve. So I'm going to do Reebok. I know we're all tired of that one, but that was the one I sort of started with, and I'm going to kind of stay in that vein. So here I go. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit. Just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
Okay.
That was a lovely first start. Now I
love it.
Yeah, that was a lovely first start, but I feel like it was just a bit friendly. And let's kind of do a quick, you know, script breakdown here. Just this opening line, even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. I don't think, you know, there's right there, you're almost lamenting that your life is crazy, right? But yet, even though your life is crazy, you still find a way to distract yourself with other things. And there's things that, you know, i.e. in this case, working out. That's important to you. Because if you miss it, you are impossible to live with. So that's something. Here's one line that I feel like a lot of people are kind of skimming over: the just like me. I want to hear when you say just like me, something that kind of lends itself to relating to you. It does, you know, and right now I feel like everybody's kind of reading it like just like me.
Okay.
You know, and you know what I mean? And again, remember who you're talking to. If you're talking to your girlfriend, you're not going to be like, you know, oh, I love these shoes. They're comfortable. They're wonderful. Just like me, you know, think about, again, just don't lose yourself. So everybody's doing so great across the board, but don't lose yourself when you see some of these lines and jump into sales mode. Go, you know, remember who you're talking to from beginning to end. And how would you tell it to your girlfriend? Maybe be playful with that line. You know, it's like, because your girlfriend knows you, right? You're talking to your girlfriend about these shoes. And so maybe have a little wink in that line and things like that. It doesn't have to be too pleasant all the way through. You don't have to be completely happy about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just be you and enjoy the product. And let's see how that feels.
All right. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I even miss one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit, just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, thereh nothing I can't do.
Boom.
Way better. You know,
Boom.
I have to compliment you. You are very articulate. Many, you know, being that English was my second language, one thing that I struggled with in the beginning is, you know, I was going to say tutors, but people that coached me always said, Issa, always remember, every word that is written in a script matters. Do not. Every word matters, and every word you said, I heard. So you're very articulate. That's great.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
But not articulate, overly articulate that it sounded like you were doing a TED Talk.
Exactly.
because then you're getting too polished, and then you're swinging to the other end of the spectrum where you're not talking to your best friend. And no, that was an amazing adjustment.
Oh.
That's exactly did you see how that just by changing that "just like me" line changed the entire feel of the spot?
I
Loved
totally
it.
Yeah, I totally.
Sure
It had more rhythm to me. That's what I felt.
Yes.
That had more rhythm. So
That's
I
where you
I
owned it.
really felt your personality too, Joy. I feel like I got a sense, even just through those couple of lines, I got a sense of what kind of person you are, how good and kind you are to your family and your friends. Like I felt like I knew who you were talking about this thing. Your personality really came through in your delivery.
Oh wow, man, this is the ultimate Christmas gift. Y'all don't even know. I'm opening up gifts right now. Thank y'all. This is amazing. I could cry. And if any of you ladies don't mind if I reach out to you for like some tidbits and stuff, if you don't mind that, I would really, really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
No problem. Thank you so much. And thanks for the feedback.
Keisha ain't gonna have no men's read. We didn't have no.
That's
no
Rick.
men's.
I
That
told
was
you, Rick.
brave
Rick
enough.
is fired. Rick is fired. If you and
Rick,
No,
I want you to pull. I want you
okay.
to pull one of them blue blockers.
Okay,
2:30
hold on.
a.m.
I'm
type
gonna.
of commercials.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I could pull a man up. Hold on. Jeez, they are flying in here. Hold on a second.
While he's selecting a guy, I just wanted to, throw in my 2 cents. Oftentimes when it comes to stuff like this, I'm a little trepidatious about offering feedback because my approach to voiceovers is a little different. I'm not doing it, even though I'm a trained actor, I'm not coming from the who am I speaking to? It's more intuition. It's something that I feel. It's something that I hear. It's very musical to me, I guess is the best way I can describe it. And so for people who might approach voiceovers in that way, I just want you to know there's more than one way to come to it. That said, the breakdown of a script that Mara was talking about is really important. If you look at the Reebok script in particular, usually there's a problem and then this product is the solution and there'll be a turn in a script. And so you have to, and that requires a subtle adjustment in your voice as well. You're coming in like, I forget even though we read it so many times, I forget what it was, but it's like, I've got these long days, but with so-and-so, and it changes the tone. And so these are little things to think about. Another thing to think about, and Rick hit upon this as well, is, you'll have a great take and they'll want to hear another. There are times where I'm in a booth, I'm in a session, and they're like, okay, you know what, this script was great, but we want to just retake this one line. Can you give us 3 in a row? You've got to be ready to give 3 distinctive takes in a row of a line or a script on the fly. And so if you're not at a point where you can do this, then you got to go back to the lab and keep working.
Jeez.
Beautifully put.
Basically. So check it. I've been doing voiceover for what? I don't know, maybe 10 years. And I swear, I it's like I'm learning this stuff all over again. Because sometimes when you hear, this is such a great panel. Gosh darn it. Man, it's like we do things and sometimes we read things and we're not necessarily cognizant of what we're doing, and of course, when you're talking about somebody like me, I audition every day, all day. And so, oh gosh, you guys are just great.
And that's a great point that you brought up, Keisha.
Yeah.
Because Mara brought it up to me years ago. I'll never forget, we were having a steak in Denver. in the middle of the winter. And she says, you're going to be auditioning all day, every day, all night, every night. When you wake up, when you go to bed, it's going to be all day.
Oh God, wait. But I'll always remember Mary told me, girl, get ready to be schizophrenic.
Yep.
Here's my question. Where's the craziest place, and I'll share mine, that you had to do a voiceover? Like the client calls, you're about to do something, or you're in the middle of something, but you've got your rig right with you, and you're doing a voiceover. Where's the craziest place for you?
In the bathroom of Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. I had to do a phone prompt, and I put my phone on I pulled some paper towels, I put them on the sink, I put my phone on the sink, I put my coat over my head, and I did a 1-sentence emergency phone prompt, and I sent it as an Apple M4A file that they could use it until I got back to my hotel.
Oh my God. That's
and then I disinfected
crazy.
my phone.
That's crazy. Anybody
And
else?
that's why they hired. That's why they hired you for that availability. I was talking about that a little while ago. You know what I'm saying? When they called you, they knew that you would come through. You know, so that's dope. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've of course, and we've all done the last minute ones in our car. But I say for me, one of the strangest ones was I had a call back for a huge campaign. But this was I was sent to the ad agency, and of course they didn't have any recording studios there. So they literally, this guy sits next to me with, I think it was like a hand recorder or his phone, and just shoves it under my nose.
Jeez.
And has me reading the spot, next to the ad exec. So the ad exec's on my left side and the assistant's on my right with the phone under my nose. And I'm trying to read the script in this big echoey room that's going to sound like shit. But that's what we had to do. Even though I could have made it sound like gold from my home studio, I had to drive in for them to use their phone. It was very strange, but luckily I booked the gig.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Of course you booked the gig.
Because you are an
dope.
actor. You are an
Exactly.
actor. I was in Jamaica in the closet next to the safe. And I don't know why I brought my stuff, but I brought my stuff. And I was in Jamaica recording.
That's when the work comes in. The second we go on vacation, that's the guarantee.
Right?
You're gonna work.
Book a flight, book a job. That's the saying all the
Every
time.
time.
I'm sure all of us have been. Just recently, a couple of months ago, I was in a hotel closet using towels and blankets and asking housekeeping for more stuff so that I could kind of, just create that isolation. Had the microphone in the front of a suitcase. So it could stay propped up on its own. I've done all of that. But the craziest place, I had an audition. I was at the African American History Museum in DC. And they were like, we need you to audition. And I usually carry my mic with me all the time. And I did not have my microphone. So I had to, audition on my phone. And I sure did slip into some room, some auditorium I was not supposed to be in. It was pitch black. I could not see. And I recorded that. And of course, it was echoey. I recorded it. I booked it. So it worked. But you make it work wherever you have to, wherever you are. That's what we do.
I had
Got to.
cancer. I was dealing with cancer and getting chemotherapy in the hospital, but you best believe I had my microphone and I got the pictures to prove it. I sure did.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
that's hard auditioning in the hospital because, you got the IVs going off, this, that, and the third. I think what I did was I ended up taking the mattress off of my bed and going into the bathroom and kind of like creating a shield.
Oh, wow.
I've done, yeah,
Girl,
the real
that's
one.
next level.
Damn. So if you can do that, ain't no reason why the rest of us
That's right.
can't
That's
come with it. If you can do that in the hospital on chemo, child, you can
Child,
be the same.
used to do it
This
all.
is what you're competing with, y'all.
Exactly.
The kind of dedication, the kind of hunger you got to have.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Ryan and Myron, have you guys pulled your script?
I actually just wanted to say really quick how appreciative of all of the ladies and you, Rick, for doing this, because there's a concept that my fiance introduced me to called driftwood. And the concept is that if you have a goal in life or a mission in life and you feel that you're supposed to pursue it or work towards it, you may get gentle nudges or conversations or reminders from the universe. And I normally work as a fitness instructor, but I do voice actor because that's what I'm more passionate about. And I've done the pay to play sites, and I've had highs and lows and really lost the motivation because I was through a stretch of lows. But then I started seeing some of the driftwood, and then Rick put out the stuff on Instagram. And I've literally been sitting here in our living room for the last 3 hours, and I can't tell you how valuable I found this conversation compared to other webinars that I've actually paid for. So I don't even need to read a script. I just wanted to say thank you, that this was re-energizing for me. And all of you have been so approachable and very authentic, which is just so helpful.
That is priceless. Thank you.
Oh, he trying to make us
Thank you.
ugly cry. And he
Right.
Mission accomplished.
But Ryan, in all seriousness, again, I just have to keep, I just wanted to make it perfectly clear that it's just been such a horrible, horrible year. And yes, we are having this discussion under the guise of voiceover, but I really want people, everyone listening under the sound of my voice right now, in the first row, in the audience, and even you ladies on stage, there is something incredibly magnetic and energetic about being in a room with people with like-mindedness, if that makes any sense. I really want people to put everything that they can into whatever it is that they want to do. Maybe there's somebody in the audience that's not even a voiceover fan per se, but that's what I asked God for, to just let people know that if you put your mind to it, you can do absolutely anything that you want to do. So be encouraged. Ryan, thank you for confirming that. I guess we're on the right track. I really do appreciate you saying that.
Oh, absolutely. Your message is what you just said, I think really epitomizes exactly how I feel, that being in a room with other people of the like mind and the same energy, then you're taking affirmative action and you believe what you can achieve. And you're just bringing more and attracting more of that goodness, hopefully, into your life or into somebody else's life, which, like you said, like everybody needs it. I mean, so many people are being affected in different ways, but it's just so nice and refreshing to have this type of new platform, because I only found out about this 3 days ago, maybe. And
Same
to have
here.
already reaped the benefits of this new type of medium.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks
That's
again, Ryan.
fantastic.
What you gonna read? Well, what you got for us?
So in all honesty, my best friend's wife called us and said that she had COVID. So I missed the directions to see where to get the scripts. So I don't even know where to pull the script from online.
So go to rickparty.com and you'll see the Women in Voiceover poster there. Pull it and look at it. And in the meantime, we're going to let Myron go. So you look at what you want to read next.
Thank you.
Okay. Magic. Myron.
Hey, let me say this, Rick. First of all, you guys are under the let me say this right. How do I say this? How do I say this? Can you hear me?
Myron!
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. First of all, Rick, congratulations on being the #1 air personality in the world, man. Come on.
Thank
bro.
you.
Congratulations, man. Amazing achievement. I wanted to publicly say, hey, man, you just keep on doing things, giving back in a major way. And this is amazing. Rick, we've spent a lot of money going to different panels. And ladies, I'm going to say this. There's a panel that got skipped this year because of COVID. And this was far better than any other panels that was presented at, I'm going to say it, Voiceover Atlanta. It's a huge, huge.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, the information in the panel, it's never diverse. And I always talk to Gerald about offering diversity. And I think what happens is there's such a clique in the voiceover industry that they get the same people and the same coaches, the same type of, memorandum of agendas going every year. And it just, it doesn't reach everybody. So this right here is an opportunity, even though it's for women, it's the platform reaches everybody, even somebody like me. So Rick and ladies, I definitely take my hat off to you. This is an amazing opportunity. And you guys are doing amazing things. So each and every one of you, I'm following. I see my girl Malika, Issa, amazing. I know a couple of you guys personally. You guys do amazing work, and hey, congrats on this panel. Continue to take it far. This is what Malika. This is what For Sisters Only should have had a long time ago.
I just have to say, I knew Magic, well, Myron, but as Magic. He was at the first station I ever worked at, B103 in Atlanta, and he was one of the personalities that I studied to be a better radio personality. So it's just awesome to see you here, because I haven't seen or spoken to you in years. So I just had to say that.
No doubt. And let me just say this. There was a young lady on there who asked about social media. Now more than ever, when you are booking these gigs, a lot of these agencies are looking at your social media. They're looking behind the pages of who this person really is, who's going to be reading for me. And they're looking to have a leg up in promoting their business. So if you're on your social media and it's a clean cut, it's a clean look, and you got so many followers, they're looking at that to add to their, opportunity to get their message out. So, for what it's worth, polish that social media up. And I'm not a big component of social media, but I do see how it works. In a lot of cases, I've seen it work for a lot of people. So I'll say that. And yeah, I did raise my hand to read because I love feedback. And I'm one of those people transitioning from the radio read to the voiceover read.
So do you have script? Are you going to read something for us today?
All right, I'll read the Reebok line. Okay. Hey, hold up, babe. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit. Just like me, working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
Damn.
That was good. But I want you to get out of your voice.
Okay.
Get out of your voice.
Oh, Rick, I don't know. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, no.
No, that was amazing.
Reebok, he put a bottom on it.
No, the reads, the inflections were there, but too much voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get out of your head. And the reason why it didn't move me, because I know him.
Yeah.
I know him. So he's not new to this.
It take a little more time with it. I felt like clearly, since you have a radio background, that's one of our curses, is that we are overly aware of time and the ability to shave off time and how long. But I want you to forget that for right now and really savor it a little bit more. But it was a great first read.
Thank you. All right, here we go. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit. Just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
All right. Go ahead, man.
I heard you beating your chest too. I heard you beating your chest.
I had to, man.
See, sometimes you got to move your body, man. You got to immerse yourself into it, bro. I felt that.
That was enthusiastic, but I would love to hear another version now that's pulled more back. Just like, you've just come home from work. And I don't want to hear your arms swinging so much, like, I find time to spit. I want it more just like, okay, I'm busy, but I still get it done. Just relax on it a little bit and let's see how that feels. Because I think we're going to get even closer to really sounding the way you sounded to us the second you started talking earlier.
So this is what you do, Myron, as you're reading the spot. Create a visual in your head. Just like she said, you just got off of, I don't know, came home from the gym. You're sitting down on the couch and you're just talking. You're just having a conversation. Literally take your leg. I just push my chair back. Take your leg and cross it like you're getting ready to take off your because you want everybody to see. You know what I'm saying? It sounds a bit extra, but visuals help me.
Right.
Even if you have to physically do it, it will definitely make a difference in your read. So try it again.
And what does that mean to you when you see that part even when I miss one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. Think about that and think about what that means. And what are you saying there?
Like that. Okay.
Okay.
Hold on, babe. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit. Just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
That's a bad man right there. That's a bad man.
So much better.
Thank
Good
you.
So
job.
much better. You
Good
see how that
job.
was less pushy? You see how that was
Yeah,
less extra?
exactly.
But I
Mara,
believed you.
good coaching right there.
Good stuff, man.
Love it.
Good.
Love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Y'all keep doing this, please. And I'm sending people to here daily because I get it every day in radio. People think, and I'm guilty because I got into radio because people said you have a nice voice. And when you really get into radio, what you really need besides a nice voice is a nice personality. And it is what it is. It is exactly what it says it is. Voice acting. You really got to take some acting classes. You got to have some fun with it. And you got to loosen up a little bit. And that's what this
Nailed it.
is allowing people to do. So thanks for
You
the
a bad
platform.
man.
Thank
Bad
you.
man.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. All
Bad
right.
man.
Ryan, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go.
Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. Even if I miss one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit. Just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
All right.
That was a great first start,
Yeah,
too.
good first start.
Yeah, I would play around with your rhythm. I feel like you're almost honoring the punctuation a little too tightly, a little too literally. So
Okay.
after every period, you don't have to take such a dramatic pause. Let a few words run together. Be kind of aware of what's called the glottal stop. And that's where, your words might not. Notice how when I'm talking right now, see how everything kind of flows together almost as if it's one word and I don't really have to take a breath.
Totally.
That's kind of how we typically talk. So we don't typically, when we're talking to somebody we're comfortable with, we don't tend to enunciate and pause and speak very clearly. Do you see the difference?
Totally.
So relax into it a little bit more. I mean, it was a great first start, but I want to hear you relax into it a little bit. And I'll give you the same note as everybody else. The just like me line. Own that a little bit. Have a little fun with it. Let me feel that, something about you that comes through with that. Because again, you're telling your story with Reebok. You're not just selling Reebok. But again, great first start.
Your the punctuation and the reading it too crisp was super helpful. So trying to just be more casual with the read.
That's it.
Also, I can see, in your headshot, Ryan, like I can see you've got a great smile. I can see you've got a great energy about you. I almost just want to hear you just kind of like shrug and smile a little bit in there, bring a little bit of you more into it. And I think that's going to address a lot of what Mara said, the timing and things being natural, versus saying each word individually. I want to see a little bit more of the you that I can see coming through in your picture right now.
Cool. Thank you. Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I even miss a day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit. Just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
That was a good adjustment. You definitely smoothed out the words. I feel like it was a bit rushed.
Oh, yeah.
I would say do one more pass at it and relax a little on that. Just like me, have a little fun with it. But that was again, you're making the adjustment. This is what a session is going to be like. Can we hear another take and make these minor adjustments? But I mean, so far You're adapting really well. So let's hear another one, but you don't have to breeze through it, but great taking the notes about not over enunciating everything and kind of running things together a little more casually.
Okay,
right.
cool.
And let's put you in the park. Let's put you in the park. You're about to go for a run. Okay. Ryan?
Yes.
Okay. And like you said, take your time. Take your time.
Even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels.
Ryan,
Even if I miss.
Ryan, you're in the park. Okay. We're outside. Let's have some fun with it. Okay.
Even if I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. I miss one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I'm always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit. Just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
Wow.
Way better.
I love
Like,
that.
did you
little
hear that
chuckle
adjustment?
came out
Yes.
between before the second line. I love that little chuckle that naturally came out. That really brought that line to life.
I believed you. I believed you.
Exactly, Mara. I believed him too.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you, man.
Well,
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you so much for your time. Seriously.
Thank you.
So I thought that this would be a little fun as a grand finale. So Trey Mosely, just Google him. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody got time to go through his resume. I thought it would be fun to pull him up because, you know, he does this. This is what he does for a living. But how about us girls really, really give him a piece of our minds? Just because he's our friend doesn't mean that we can't get it that.
What did I do? A piece of your mind.
Let's get
What
into
did-
that.
About what? I don't understand.
Save the theatrics. Save the theatrics. Pick your script and let's go.
Oh, you want me to read? Oh, you want me to?
Yep.
Oh, okay. You want?
Oh,
me
this is about to be good.
All right, just come on with it. Come on.
Come on, Atlas.
Love you, girl.
Oh,
we need the wheel of direction. We need that bag of 230 different keywords. You know, do it like an old timey circus performer. Can you do it more like you and less like you at the same time?
Sure, I can
Make it
do
sound
that.
more purple.
Make it sound more purple.
Come on, Trey.
Would you like it to be more urban?
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord.
Come on, Trey.
You know what? I'm gonna do the Reebok. I'm gonna do it urban just for y'all, since y'all picking on me.
Come on.
All right.
Well, come on then.
All right, then. Yo, even though I'm busy, I still find time to spin my wheels. If I miss even one day of working out, I'm impossible to live with. So no matter where I am, I always make time to exercise. That's why I believe in Reebok. They're comfortable, lightweight, and they never quit, just like me. Working out gives me the strength to do whatever I want and do it well. And when I'm wearing Reeboks, there's nothing I can't do.
I'm dead.
There you go.
I don't even know how we're supposed to hand him his ass off of that. Like, what are we supposed to say?
Right.
Come test me now. You see what when you come test me, girl?
Listen, give me a little smile on the next read. Let me. No, it's good. Man. That's great.
I'm about to say, come on, Rick. Don't do me like
That was great, homie. That was good stuff.
That was dope.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
That's my coach.
Okay, guys.
So where do we go from here?
That's so I think that we can do some final thoughts. I want to remind everybody that I did purchase a microphone to gift to you. So make sure you go to womeninvoiceover.com and enter to win. Number 2, and again, I'm not trying to grandstand or anything, but this virtual meeting means so much to me for so many, many, many reasons. You ladies are fantastic, incredibly talented. You inspire me each and every day in every way possible. Rick, you're amazing. Because Rick, truth be told, he didn't have to lend us this space, but he did so selflessly. And that's why I love him. Just like I think it was Ryan who said, the other dude, people pay good money to get this sort of advice and guidance. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You're going to have to make an investment in your career. So I'm not telling you don't ever go to another voiceover conference again. But definitely when you see Rick when he's online and he's doing this voiceover thing, make it your business to come in that room and absorb all you can and tell 10 friends to do the same. Y'all need to follow everybody on the stage. Make sure you go to our bios, scroll down to Instagram and or Twitter. You have direct access to us. It's all about being, available. I'm confident in saying that anybody on the stage will make themselves available if somebody needs a shoulder to lean on. Don't don't drive them crazy. But at the same time, just keep that, just keep that in mind. This is really, really awesome. Thank you so much, guys, for attending and spreading the word. I see you on Twitter and Facebook and whatnot. This is just incredible. And I just can't thank you enough.
We love you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, Keisha. Do you want me to shout out some of the coaching resources that I alluded to earlier? Is that silence a yes?
What did you say, Maria?
Do you want me to share out some of the coaching resources and websites and stuff that we alluded to earlier when somebody asked about how to find a coach?
Sure, no problem. Don't make it too long. And let me say for the record, this is not a personal endorsement of anybody on stage, but it's definitely, if Maria says it, I believe it. So yeah, definitely share. Get your pens out.
Yeah, so one website that I want to shout out is the Global Voice Acting Academy website, the GVAA. They have classes and webinars available, which are really fantastic. They also have one-on-one coaches that have all been vetted, that you can book through the site. And they also have something called the Rate Guide, which has standard rates in voiceover that you can reference. So if you are just getting started, you've joined an online casting site for the first time, you're reaching out to clients in your local area and you're not sure what to charge for different kinds of projects, they have a rate guide there that shows the kind of averages of things that are being booked, and all of the information has been compiled from other working voice actors sharing what they're getting paid for their work and what they're being billed. It's a great resource. I also want to shout out, a friend of mine has an online course called Introduction to Voiceover. It's a self-paced online course at introductiontovoiceover.com. It was created by Rhonda Phillips, and it's a really great course that just kind of goes over a lot of the nuts and bolts of the voiceover industry. So I'm sure you got a taste from us today, but if you wanted to go a little bit deeper to learn a little bit more about some of the ins and outs, it's a really fantastic online self-paced course that you can take advantage of. So those are two websites, resources that I would shout out. And like Keisha said, if you're looking for something specific, I'm sure any of us would be happy to share the coaches that we've worked with and the classes that we've taken. And you can hit us up on Instagram or Twitter to connect on some of those more specific things.
That's great. That's great. So this is what we're going to do next. In 25 seconds or less, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. 25 seconds or less. Let's give some final remarks, starting with Matt. Hello, Ms. Julie.
I'm sorry, you broke up at the very end. What was that?
No, I was saying in 25 seconds or less, let's give a word of encouragement as we all prepare to fly into the sunset.
All right. I would say, ladies, now is the time the world needs your voice. Stop being polite. We are trained from birth to be seen and not heard. And now you've got to undo all those habits and try to make some money and have confidence. It is not easy, but you got to start practicing now. I'm the type of woman who used to apologize and be the first one to say, I'm sorry when somebody would step on my foot. There is no room for that in voiceover. If you want to sell a product, a game, a character, whatever it is, confidence sells. And that's only going to happen when you get comfortable with the sound of your voice, with the power behind your voice, owning who you are. Take the time for self-care, get to know who you are, what you do and do not want. Don't be afraid to say no, and use that voice for good, and it will take you places and pay you well.
And let's play a bit of your British read before you go. Hold on.
Confused? Frustrated? Let Balfour Recruitment, an award-winning company, open the door for you with jobs in teaching, social care, construction, IT, and office jobs, all with immediate start. Balfour Recruitment Group, where recruitment and excellence come together.
All right.
That's like 10 years old, but hey, it works.
It works. Rebecca.
I just want to take a moment to just point out this beautiful sandwich that I'm in, right smack dab in between Mara and Issa, right exactly where I want to be. This was the perfect way. This was the perfect way to end my night. I don't know about y'all. As far as words of encouragement right now, being Black, being woman, being female, we are it right now. This is our time to shine. There's never been a better time to get into voiceover, y'all. If you're looking into it, if you're thinking about it, we are so in demand. We are so hot. Now is the time to get on board. Don't wait.
All right. Here's a bit of Rebecca.
It's that time of the year again. Time for the kiddos to continue stocking up on knowledge. Make sure they're ready to learn and visit Target for all your back-to-school needs.
All right. Issa.
Hey guys, I say this story all the time. It may be whack, but it makes sense. First season of American Idol. Simon Cowell told everyone that they said that they were going to Hollywood. He looked at all of them. And although everybody thought he was a dick for saying it, he was like, if you don't believe you're going to win this whole thing right now, leave now. Don't even go to Hollywood. That's exactly what I'm going to tell you about this or anything you put your heart into. You have to believe in yourself before anybody, because how are you going to convince me if you can't convince yourself? Period. You can do it.
Is Issa.
If I don't get my breakfast in the morning, let's just say...
Wait. Chill.
I'm sorry. What happened there?
Oh my.
What's happening? About where is it? You see the spot that says Trakina and Issa?
Yeah.
After she gives her words of encouragement, Trakina, tell the story about the Best Buy and then play that commercial.
Okay, you want me to... Okay, go ahead.
I want Trakina to give her 20 seconds of inspiration, and then I want her to tell the Best Buy story, and then I want you to play the Best Buy spot.
You got it.
Okay. So, what I'm going to say is, first of all, thank you guys all so much for being here with us tonight. This was so powerful, and these women are just phenomenal. Before you spend a dime, please take advantage of all of the free resources that are out there. I mean, like Malika and so many of us had mentioned earlier, there's so much stuff you can do just by watching TV and looking at commercials and reading out loud and practicing your pitch, your tone, your pace, and doing all that stuff. You do not have to break the bank to first get started and then go get your training and your coaching and by those people who have been vetted by going to GVAA and by doing all of that. The fact that you are in here in this room tonight means that you are making room for your dream. And as long as you make room for your dream will make room for you. The next thing I want to say about the Best Buy thing is this is a national spot that both me and my girl Issa are on.
Yes.
Women of color being represented at its finest. And I did not even know that she was in the spot with me because a lot of times we're recording by ourselves, right? So I did my part. And then I posted it like I normally do on IG. And then she came up to me like, yo, where did you find that spot? And I was like, oh, I found it on iSpot. Do you know the girl who's in it? She was like, yeah, it's me. And I was like, what? So here's our Best Buy spot, y'all.
Dear Best Buy, I'm so worried. 544. About my mom living alone. 545. That is keeping me up all night. 546. I just want to know that she's okay. 547.
Best Buy has phones and wearables with Lively's 24/7 health and safety services. We'll help find the right one, and you'll have a little more peace of mind.
Hey.
Jesus Christ. That is so dope. Oh my God.
Love it.
Malika.
I always forget how to unmute. So I would say to everyone, this industry is not for the faint of heart. It takes time. My first major booking was in May of 2005. The next one didn't happen until August of 2006. It took over a year. Now, I've got commercials running every day, multiple times a day, but it took a very long time to get to this place. So you've got to stick it out. Absorb the industry however you can. Watch TV commercials, listen to audiobooks, radio imaging, watch animation, get into a class. There is a place for you. Technology and even COVID has really leveled the playing field. There is a place for you to get in no matter where you are on the globe. So find your place and get in it.
All right. Here's a promo spot from Malika.
Wait.
She's a heart.
Oh
No.
my gosh, you're killing me here.
I'm
Jeez.
so sorry. I'm so
Jeez.
sorry. It's so important. I was very intentional about pulling these spots. I want you to pull that Law and Order spot from Malika. Malika is on camera too.
Okay, here we go.
This is actually from Law and Order.
This is an email sent from Miss White to Mr. Colton the day after the party. Our IT department confirmed it was sent from her office computer. Please be respectful of the surroundings, the furniture, the artwork. Of course.
Hey.
She's bad.
Hey.
She's bad. I love you, Malika. All right, Maria, let's hit it.
I just want to say thanks again, Rick, for opening the space for us. And Keisha, thank you for asking me to be here with these powerhouse women. I want to reiterate what I said earlier when we were talking about racism and voiceover. If you are in this group right now listening to this conversation and you are not a person of color, I want you to do what you can to make room for our colleagues and make sure that their voices are heard and make sure that there's room for them at the table and they're getting the chance to audition and read and excel, and we need to amplify those voices. It is a hard career path. It takes time. You're not going to make money on day one. You're not going to walk into success on day one. But if you have the passion for this, if you believe and you burn in your soul and you know that using your voice, whether it's a commercial, a phone system, a piece of technology, or even people think it's boring, but corporate narration, that kind of stuff makes sure that everybody gets to do their job safely. Make sure they come home to their kids at the end of the night because they did their job correctly. It's important and it has a place. If you burn to do it, I wish everyone the best of luck. Seek out the people that can help you do it. Surround yourself not with yes men and women. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, who give you honest and constructive feedback. And they don't tell you just, yes, it's great. They tell you, no, it could be better. Find those people in your life to hold you accountable. And good luck. It's worth it.
Ladies, give yourselves a round of applause. Hey! Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Listen, guys, continue to follow the Voiceover Club, the little greenhouse at the top. Make sure you follow there and make sure you follow all of these ladies here. Ladies, thank you so much for spending your time. We were actually here for like 3 hours and a half. 3 hours and a half. You should have put your Cash Apps under your name. That would have been fine and nice.
So
Yeah.
we need a check from Apple. All them people went out and got iPhones. And
I know, right?
Cut the check.
Right. So we'll be doing this again, guys. Make sure you go to the Voiceover Club and we'll put on the marquee what we're doing next. And thank you all and have a great night.
Great night.
Thanks, guys.
Uh-oh. What?
Play my closing, and then we can go home.
What's your closing?
It says closing on it.
There's no closing here. There's no closing here.
Okay, I'm gonna send.
There's no closing here, my dear.
Okay, I'm sending it to you right now. Please, ladies, 30 more seconds.
Okay. Anyway, what about the NBA? NBA just started. Anybody watching basketball? Oh my gosh.
So crazy.
I am so tired. I have been up like since early this morning. And now I've got to get
Yeah.
another conference in a second. So
This clubhouse ish is addictive. Hell, I'm losing so much sleep ever since Keisha invited me.
wow. No, we did the other night. We did Lion King on this thing. Lion King the musical.
It was so dope.
It was masterful.
Oh my God. 300 million impressions on social media. Trended #2 on Twitter. Write-ups everywhere. TMZ. I mean, Griot. I mean, the list goes on. It was really incredible. So it's really
Y'all
starting.
broke Clubhouse that day.
Yeah, we broke Clubhouse. People couldn't get back on. It was
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So yeah, I just wanted to, very important. I just wanted you to play this closing, and all my friends in the audience, if you just take a moment, just take a few deep breaths and close your eyes and let this woman's voice permeate your soul.
Okay. Let me pull that woman's voice up first. Takes a minute. Okay.
So while waiting, a lot of people have always asked me about how did I get the gig on Soul Train Awards. Y'all know how I got that gig, really? Not through an agent. I literally used to watch award shows and take notes with regards to who the producers were. And so I familiarized myself with Jesse Collins Entertainment. I found out who the executive producer was, found her on LinkedIn, and harassed her for 4 years until she finally said, "Sure, I'll give you a chance." And so in closing, even though I really didn't make any closing remarks, what I really want to tell everybody is to never give up. Never give up. I'm trying to give to you what Randy Thomas, who is the voice of the Emmys, gave to me, and which is just to let you know that you can do it. As long as you have the tenacity and the strength and the will to do it, you can do it. 2021 is your year. Never, ever give up.
Dear young woman, I hope you find you. I hope you find love. I see all the armor you wear. I see all the jewels and gems of wisdom you share. It's okay to shine, Ma. It's okay to shine. It's okay to have pride, Ma. You don't have to live a lie. Don't let the violence fool you into silence, convincing you that you are not worthy of space and time. You might not know it yet, but you got a multi-dimensional set of eyes looking out for you. Trust that what is meant for you is relying on you to show up. Show up. You can lose your religion, but you will never lose your spirit. Each of your breaths have minds and lives of their own. I doubt we'll ever know the true impact of our presence. What a blessing. Young woman, I wish you enough. I wish you enough time for all of your skills and talents. I wish you more. I wish you more revelations than disrespects and regrets. And I beg you to believe in yourself more than your parents ever did. Carry out your curiosities in spite of the corruptions you experience. You let yourself free when you let yourself forgive. And so when you do, and I know you will, I hope you find you.
Wow.
Chills.
Those are beautiful. That's a feather in my eye.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
That's a feather in my eye. It's an eyelash in my eye.
Go get yourself some blue blockers. You'll be okay.
Ladies, thank you so much. I really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
guys.
Yeah. And everybody, thank you for listening to Women in Radio. We'll be doing this again soon. Make sure you follow. Go to womeninvoiceover.com. Make sure you register for the mic. Again, thank you, Keisha Monk, Mara Juno, Rebecca Lee, Issa Lopez, Trakina White, Malika Millette, and of course, Maria Pandolino. All right. I'm Rick Party. Have a good night.
Night, y'all.
Bye.
Night.